And good evening, everybody, and welcome. We're in Albion, Michigan tonight at the Kresge Gymnasium. Jim Funderburg along with Jim Bellamy as we get ready for what is, Jimmy, probably one of those last couple weeks games that, mean an awful lot. They mean an awful lot more for the ladies here from Albion tonight as the Trine Thunder come to town, sitting in front of them in the standings, and the Brits tonight need a win really to be able to keep that hope of being the number 2 seed in the tournament that's coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about the last time these two teams played, but one of the commonalities, unfortunately so far for Coach Carden and the Britain's women's basketball team is the top 2 teams in the MIAA, the last time they played both of these teams, Jim, they're only getting about 42 points a game on average. And the rest of the time, they don't seem to have a problem getting up 70s and 80s. So it's just these 2 games seem to be the toughest. Trine is a very balanced team, very tough team, plays fantastic defense, and they don't wow you with their statistics, but they're just a solid basketball team. And it's always been a tough matchup for the Brits. And you did some research just before we went on the air about the difficulties that the Britain's women's team has had with Trine over the years.
It's been 6 years and 11 consecutive losses for the Lady Britons. Coming into this ball game here tonight, they won both those 2 games back in 2013.
2013-14, yeah. So
long time ago.
February 8th of 2014, I believe.
It's the last time they won that thing. In fact, if I reach over here for my piece of paper real quick, we'll just let you know they won 84-63 that night. It's been 6 years, 11 games. That was February 8th, 2014. It was Britt DeBeer with 25 points that night, and Michaela Bromley with 17 that night to lead the Lady Britons to the sweep that year in 2013-2014. Since then, the Lady Brits have had a difficult time beating these ladies from Trine.
Yeah, and it's just like I said before, it's a tremendously well-balanced team. You look at the statistics for the Thunder, they don't wow you in any particular statistical category. The one that you look at, though, and the reason that they're so successful, you see their record on the screen, 17-4. The Britons also 18-4, having a magnificent season. But in conference, Jim, Trine is getting 67 points a game on offense, only giving up 41 points a game on defense. So the Brits getting that average of 41.5, 42 last time they played Hope and the last time they played Trine. That's no mistake. That's not an anomaly. And you look back to the last 7, 8, 9 games that Trine has played, for the most part, they have been dominant on defense. Trine has held 7 of their last 9 opponents to less than 40 points. One of those other 2 opponents hit 40 on the mark. So 8 of their last 9 are 40 or less. That's your that's your blueprint for victory right there. You don't have to wow your opponent with having 4, 5, 6 players in double figures on average and one averaging 30 a game or anything like that. They're a well-balanced team, but just defensively, they're so disciplined that they can take you out of your game plan and dictate the pace in a hurry. And it's an effective, deep team that they can do that all 4 quarters.
Well, Jim, to your point, they only have one of their players that is scoring in double figures on average every night, and that's Tara Bianowitz. She's averaging 11. Kaylee Wildman averaging 9 points a game. Kelsey Taylor 9 points, and Katie Steers 9 points. So you've got 4 people who are right around that 10-point per game mark. Nobody stands out with 17, 18, 20 points. Like when you flip it over to the other side, and you do see that Rain Hinton's got 16. Elena Welker with 11. Wish with 11, and Emily Burness with 11. But this is a team, to your point, that when you look down that total, almost every player on our stat sheet tonight averages points in every basketball game they play. So they get a lot of people in, just like Hope. They rotate a lot of folks through, and they do a wonderful job, and that is why they're 17-4 and 11-1 in the conference. For the Lady Britons, they're 18-4 and 10-3 in the conference. And you take a look at that conference standings here tonight to look at where the women are at this point in time. Hope has pretty much locked everything up here early on. Those guys are still undefeated in the conference here tonight as they go into the ball game this evening at 12-0. 21-0 overall for the season for the Lady Flying Dutch, and Trine then at 11-1 right behind them. and you can see then Albion at 10-3, Calvin at 8-5, and then it just kind of falls off, Jim. And we have the tournament coming up here in just about 2 weeks here from tonight. It starts actually, and you got Hope and right now Trine that look like they're in that number 1 and number 2 slot, so they'd get the bye on Wednesday night, and then the next 4 down, Albion, Calvin, St. Mary's, and Alma at this point in time seem to be locked into those spots as well. So at this moment, it's kind of unusual. You've got these 3 powerhouses at the top of the conference, and then you've got those 4 teams right below it, and then the last 3 are just basically out of the race.
Yeah, one of the most interesting facets of that schedule, the MIAA schedule, we'll keep this graphic up here for a minute, Ken, is Albion sitting at 10-3, seemingly a little bit out of it with already a loss to Trine. However, if Albion is able to beat Trine, that pulls them within a game essentially of second place. The last game of the conference season is Trine traveling to Hope.
Yes.
So it is entirely possible that if Albion is able to beat Trine tonight and then is able to get on a run to finish the conference season, that if Trine loses at Hope, the Britons may sneak into that number 2 spot and get that bye. So while you have pretty much, like you said, the top 6 are pretty well locked, and you have a pretty good idea of the way things are going to match up, that 2-3 spot right there, and also the 1-2.
Yes.
Because if Trine wins tonight and they go on to continue their run, Hope feels like they would have already locked in that spot. But what if Trine goes up and beats them and forces technically a tie?
Yes.
So I mean, there's so many things that could happen, but again, one of the things that we talked about a little bit after we left the Kresge the night that the Britons played Hope, and Hope had just pretty much had their way that night with the Britons, is it's easy to get disappointed at the result of a basketball game. Of course, we're Britons fans. It's a Britain Sports Network. There's no question about it. But it's harder to look at kind of what the long view of it all is. And it's entirely possible that you see Hope again 21-0 on this magical run. They could be in the middle of this just undefeated, magical season that could culminate in a national championship, and we just don't know it yet. So it's hard to appreciate the long view of things, and you certainly have to take your hat off to the top 3 teams in this conference, because you look at those records, 21-0, 17-4, 18-4. There is some fantastic basketball being played in the MIAA this year.
And let me point one more thing out just so that people don't think that we're just total homers here tonight. This is a Thunder basketball team that is a number 2 spot in the MIAA right now. Off of the team from last year that was the number 1 team in the conference, they lost Brandy Dawson, who was an all-league basketball player, 18 points a game, 5 rebounds, played 28 minutes a night. They lost Cassidy Williams, 13 points, 4 rebounds, played 30 minutes a night. And Montana Martin gave him 8 points a night, 3 rebounds, and played 21 minutes a night. So there are 3 young ladies that started last year for this Trine Thunder team that when we bring their names up, I still shudder just a little bit because they were really good basketball players. They graduated, and yet still Coach Andy Rang, who's in year number 3 and is sitting there at 43-7, has taken this team from Trine, put them right back there in that number 2 hole, and they're fighting for that number 1 spot yet with just 2 weeks left to go in the conference. Yeah,
it's that old sports cliche. Us announcers say it all the time. Either you rebuild or you reload. And apparently these top 3 teams in the MIAA, they don't rebuild. They reload. And hats off to Trine for building a sustainable program that they can lose the quality basketball players like they did and still be in the position they're in this year.
Let's take this back to January 18th. It was down in Angola, Indiana that night where the ladies from Trine hosted our Lady Britons, and they won 63-45 that night. It was a night, Jimmy, that the Brits were just plagued with foul troubles all night long. Actually, Hinton only played 25 minutes that night. She actually fouled out, and the Trine Thunder held the Britons to just 31% from the floor and 18% from distance.
Yeah, and it was, I mean, again, statistically speaking, Trine didn't, and nothing jumped off the page that would look like it was a dominant performance. They attempted 13 fewer field goals in the game, only made 3 more than the Britons made. They had a slight edge in rebounds. They turned the ball over more. They gave up more points off turnovers. They got outscored in the paint. They got outscored on fast break points. And if you look quarter by quarter at the game the last time these two teams played, Trine was up 14-11 after one, 29-23 at the half. They only outscored them by one in the third quarter. So it was a close game going into that fourth quarter. But the fourth quarter was ultimately the Britons' undoing. Trine shot the lights out of the gym, and they outscored the Britons 20-9 to kind of coast to a victory in what was a pretty tightly contested ball game up to that point. But foul trouble definitely made an impact.
To your point, it was a 7-point contest at the end of 3 quarters that night, and that was actually a Saturday afternoon. And it just really, as you said, that fourth quarter, the Britons went cold, couldn't make anything happen. Trine did a nice job of probably causing an awful lot of that because they, to your point, play some defense, and they've had the ability to play some defense. And the idea of just getting one shot and having to go away and make it every time you come down makes it a little bit difficult. But that is what you have to do with Trine, because generally they'll do a good job boxing out and getting that rebound. As you see on the top of the screen tonight, webcast at albion.edu. That's how you get a hold of us. Let us know where you're at, where you're watching the ball game from, what you're thinking, what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. We're here for any kind of conversation this evening. All you got to do is send us a note at webcast@albion.edu. Now you take a look at these two teams as they come in to play tonight, Jimmy. The ladies, Britons, come in tonight with winning their last 3 games in a row. All in all, they're 8-1 at home this year, 7-3 on the road. So as you said earlier, this isn't a bad season at all for Coach Carden and her ladies. But they come into the ball game tonight having won big over Kalamazoo, 80-47, big over Olivet, 78-63, and also big over Adrian, 66-55. On the other side, Trine didn't play last Saturday, so they had a week off. They actually played last against Alma, which was a week ago tonight. Well, kind of an easy night, 71-33 over Alma, and that was the week before, the game before they'd beaten Olivet, 71-39. And Calvin, the game before that, 56-33. So to your point of very few teams getting to that 40 mark against this basketball team, that's the road that has brought the Trine Thunder here to this Wednesday night game at the Kresge.
In fact, you want to look at the high water mark going back to January 18th, the game you and I just broke down. The Britons, the highest point total given up by Trine in recent memory. January 18, they gave up 45 points. Since then, Jim, 39 to Adrian, 39 to Kalamazoo, 33 to Calvin, 39 to Olivet, 33 to Alma, 39 and 33. I mean, it's uncanny how consistent they are. And it goes exactly back to the point about losing those great players that they did last year and why they are still successful. I would argue it's the dedication to focusing on defense.
Yeah.
If you play good defense, they have great athletes, there's no question. But if you focus on the fundamentals and you play great defense, you can afford to lose a few really good players. And still, if you continue to execute the game plan and play with the same kind of intensity, the results should, in theory, end up being pretty consistent.
Yeah.
And that's what they have, and that's why they're so darn good.
You see the results from the last several games, but we're running out of ball games now, Jimmy, as we scroll down a little bit farther.
That's it.
Play Trine tonight, okay?
3 more.
Saturday you have Calvin coming here, and then next Wednesday night you wrap it all up with St. Mary's on the road, and St. Mary's team that we saw play here a couple of weeks ago, and not a bad basketball team, but has a long way to go, not a lot of depth on that team. The top 3 teams of the conference definitely stacked compared to most everybody else in that conference, but we're just down to 3 remaining games for the Lady Britons. Around the conference tonight, you've got Adrian at Olivet, Kalamazoo at Calvin, St. Mary's at Hope. Saturday then, Adrian will be at Trine, Calvin at Albion, Hope at Alma, St. Mary's at Kalamazoo. And then on that next Wednesday, you've got St. Mary's Olivet. You've got Trine versus Hope. That's the game that we're looking at there. And then you've got, well, in fact, next Wednesday is Albion, St. Mary's, Alma, Adrian, Olivet, Hope, and Kalamazoo and Trine. And then the very last Saturday of the week, I got them off on my schedule a little bit, St. Mary's at Olivet, and that's the 22nd day of February. Trine will be at Hope, Alma at Kalamazoo, Calvin at Adrian. It should be a very, very interesting last Saturday afternoon of basketball here in the MIAA, and the ladies from Albion will be having that last Saturday off. They don't have to play that last week, that last couple of games coming in. Doreen Carton, the head coach here of the Lady Britons. I'll tell you what, I don't think you can complain at all, Jim, about the job that Doreen and her coaching staff has done with this basketball team this year. They lost some folks, too, off that basketball team last year, and she regrouped and has them right there working for that number 2 or number 3 spot in the conference tonight.
Yeah, and so far this season, Coach Carden has set history by recording her 300th win and counting. And she got that win back in early January of 2020. So it's been, another excellent year for Coach Carden. And it's just, again, consistency. It's one of those things that, you look at Hope, you look at Trine, you look at Albion, and you marvel at the consistency with these 3 programs. They lose great players seemingly every year. And you always wonder, how are you going to rebound without so-and-so? How are you going to do without so-and-so? And they keep doing pretty good. So they must be doing something right. Coach Carden certainly is doing something right.
Well, they're coming in off of a big win, as we said, over Kalamazoo. They outscored Kalamazoo 45-22 in the second and third quarters there to open that ball game up. Welker had 14, Wishmeyer with 13, Hinton had 12, Ross with 11. Kalamazoo only shot 27% from the floor, 25% from behind the arc that day, with some good defense being played by the Lady Brits. The Thunder come in, as we said, the last time they played against Alma. It was a week ago tonight. They won 71-33. Bienowitz had 17, Taylor with 13, Herbert, Steers, and Stewart each had 8 points last Wednesday night against Alma. So, and again, a balanced attack for the ladies from Trine, and the ladies from Albion tonight going to have to try to maybe figure out a way to do to the ladies from Trine what they did to them in Angola, and limit them to one shot, and maybe control a few things. Maybe because you're home, you put more than 40 points on the board tonight, and just see where everything falls.
And one of the things that we learned from watching the game here against Hope was the toughness of Hope, and how impressed we were of that, and how the Britons need to respond with a little bit of extra toughness. And I think that tonight might be one of those games, perhaps, where you see, maybe a player who you don't normally see atop the scoring sheet. And maybe it might be Sharika Finjap, a player who can bring a physical presence inside, give you some quality minutes, and maybe just change some things around. Maybe start to put a little bit of different identity on the team as you get closer to that tournament time in the season. Maybe, don't know. We'll find out in about 70 seconds or so. But it is going to be a fantastic ball game here on a Wednesday night. It's the 17-4 Trine Thunder being hosted tonight by your Albion Lady Britons, who are 18-4 on the year, 10-3 in the conference, and looking to get one game closer to the ladies from Angola here tonight with a big win in front of a home crowd on a night that's supposed to get snowy and nasty as the night goes on here at the Kruski Center. Supposed to stay outside at least tonight. That's the good news. It'll be snowy on the outside, no snow on the inside, hopefully. How's that, huh? If it is, then I think we may need to call someone in to check the roof.
Yeah, no doubt about that. We're about 20 seconds away from the starting lineups tonight of the national anthem as we get ready for this big ball game tonight at the MIAA. We'll also keep you up to date as how the men are doing tonight, and also all the games in the conference on both the men's and the women's side as we go through this basketball game here tonight. With that, we've reached the time to turn it over to the PA system at this point in time and get you ready for the ball game here tonight on the Britain Sports Network.
be positive. In honor of Black History Month, we would now like to present to you the Black National Anthem performed by Maria Clear, Cyril Johnson, and McPemsey Logan Garrett.
So there are your starting lineups, and we get ready for quarter number 1. 4 quarters in women's college basketball, Jim. And this again is the number 2 and number 3 teams in the MIAA. And the women's side, the Trine Thunder have a slight edge over the Britons. Overall season record though, 17-4, Trine 18-4, Albion. So this looks to be a fantastic Wednesday night matchup at the Kresge Gymnasium. And the Britons looking maybe for a little bit of payback after kind of a sluggish performance in Angola.
Got to think that we got to come into this ball game thinking we owe them one here tonight, Jimmy. You know, you take a look at the starting lineups again tonight. It's Welker, Larson, Wishmeyer, Hinton, and Burness for the Britons tonight. Wildman, Beniowitz, and Steers, Herbert, and Taylor. As Taylor now is going to jump up with Rain Hinton, and the ball is tipped, controlled by Hinton and the Brits. And we have the first opportunity tonight.
23-24 for Albion, Jim. They have to get started early, Wishmeyer and Hinton.
And you know what? That would be a good thing if you see that ball go in a couple of times. As Hinton leaves one short, Burness puts it up no good, and the rebound comes off to Bienowitz.
Perhaps she was able to get in there and get position, but only so much. Trine, so disciplined on defense, not going to give you too many second chance point opportunities. Brits couldn't cash in on that one.
Those were the kinds that weren't going down in Angola that Saturday afternoon as well. As the first three-point shot finds the floor here by Kayla Wildman, and it's 3-0 now Trine. But you're going to have to convert on those, Jimmy. You really can't find yourself down a half a dozen or a dozen here in the first half.
No, it compounds and it grows quickly.
Burness left it short because he ran out of real estate, got the rebound, and now should be called for the travel.
And that's just a couple of Trine players holding their ground. Katie Steers in particular, number 24. In there in the paint, just didn't move and didn't give her a chance to get anything set to turn around. Lost her footing, turned it over.
Britt showing a little full-court pressure here as the driver gets another bucket, and that again is Bienowitz. And she's now 2 for 2 on the night with all 5 points.
They'll drive strong and they'll make contact too, Jim. Again, it's a physical, disciplined basketball team.
Good, solid basketball team. 5'10", 6 foot, 5'9", 6'1", 6'2". As Hinton gets cut off by Taylor, the 6'2" young lady.
Oh, got to get it back to her.
Back to Hinton, inside, 3-on-1, nice had the ball blocked. Burness comes back to the rebound. Welker drives, layup will be a little short. Hinton comes up, has it blocked. Tipped around again. Wishmeyer trying to get it. Goes out of bounds. It'll go off a Wish. I'll tell you what, it is a physical game underneath that bucket right now on the offensive end for the Lady Brits.
Physical, and you're going to have to match that physicality. And if you look up court, Jim, there's 2 Trine Thunder players. Nobody's guarding.
Britons with some pretty decent backcourt defense here to keep them from seeing that. But you're right, Jim. They had Wildman and Taylor down there all by themselves. Shot no good. Taylor with the rebound, had it blocked away. And Larson's there to pull down the rebound for the Britons.
Nice block by Larson there.
Hinton gets around the defender for the easy lay-in, 5-2.
That's going to be your key right there to score and score consistently. Get in there before the defense can get set.
Britons double teaming and trapping in the back.
This is going to be a call, Jim.
Got to be close, and there it is.
Yep, great defense right there. Some bad passing. And they're not immune to the turnover bug. They turned it over a lot the last time these 2 teams played.
Well, they don't really have, when you look at them, they don't really have that ball handling guard on this basketball team. But they've got 5 people that can crash the boards and play defense on you as well as anybody. But there isn't that one real solid ball handler on this basketball team that I've seen. One
of the few weaknesses on the squad, though, because, again, it's a very solid Trine Thunder squad.
Generally, in a situation like that, you like to get it to your person and let them dribble it across that pressure. But look at the defense they play and cause you to turn that ball over, and it doesn't really matter that you had the 10-second call just a minute ago. Bienowitz drives, puts it on the ground, Burness all over.
5-2 Trine. No shooting threat up top here.
Taylor not going to take that long three-pointer.
I'm going to screen and roll, though.
Gave it to Wildman, who gave it right back, and Taylor finds an easy place right underneath that bucket to lay it in.
So you ask yourself, why put her up top right there to get the ball? That's why. Have the defense converge on her, turnover by the Brits, screen and roll her down. If you get the mismatch, she's open, and nobody really can guard her when she's that close.
7-2, Brits down by 5, and they'll keep this heat on. in the backcourt. Steers really not the dribbler you need. Bianowitz really also not that dribbler, but they do break the pressure this time.
And they pick up their dribble early, too, which is another thing that does make you hold your breath a little bit.
Wildman gets it to Steers. She drives, and she'll draw the foul as Katie Steers, a senior from Portage, Indiana, will pull the first foul here of the first quarter tonight.
And it's a foul against Rain Hinton, so, thankfully it's only Rain's first, but foul trouble is what hindered her and the Brits as a whole last time these two teams played.
Well, you're early into this basketball game as well. As Steers knocks down the first one, she hits 2 out of 3, Jim, on the season.
8-2 your score. Get a temporary stoppage in play for Elena Walker. 6:37 to go, quarter one. Trine looking strong so far, looking to go up 7.
Second one is also good, and that does make it 9-2 now. So the Lady Brits are in for a ball game tonight. Gonna have to be able to hang on to that basketball. Welker almost lost it, got to Wishmeyer, and again you can see the pressure of Steers right in Wishmeyer's face.
Yep. And they go right through the screens too. You're gonna have to set stronger screens.
Welker drives, has the baseline cut off, dribbles back out, puts up a shot, no good. Taylor there with a rebound. One and done again for the Lady Britons. Taylor this time will dribble it into the front court.
Man, where they pick up the dribble though, Jim, that confuses me a little bit.
Early on in the basketball game, Lady Brits going to need to figure out a way to get the ball back, and Rain Hinton has just picked up foul number 2. Reaching in underneath there on Kelsey Taylor, and the exact thing that you really hope did not happen happens now to the Britons, as she'll have to sit down now probably for a good portion of this first half.
Yeah, probably for the rest of this quarter at least.
Madeline Stanley checks in for the Britons. Britons with some good defense. Ball stolen by Larson. Coming down 1-on-2, picked that one up a little bit. Got away with, I think, a carry on that, but also a lay-in that will count. Trine coaching staff up on their feet. Happened kind of quick. In the NBA, that's not a carry, but in the MIAA it is. Straight on 3, no good. Long rebound, gets pulled in by Welker. And the Britons have a chance to cut this thing down.
Run before they can get set. There you go, draw foul.
Welker goes into Katie Steers, draws the foul on Steers. I believe it's a shooting foul, so Welker will get a chance. Nope, they'll say a block on the floor.
Yep, he's got it on the drive to the basket, but not in the act of shooting. Rebecca Ross checks in, and Emily Burness takes a seat. So Britons continuing to sub, and they'll need those fresh legs throughout this game, Jim.
They really will. Gotta get a point here, I would say. Wishmeyer again without a good look. Now she's got one. Wish fires, and she'll get that hometown bounce.
You're not kidding. That hits off the back of the rim. Usually that's a long rebound opportunity. Instead, hits that soft spot and just drops right in.
We'll take that all night long.
9-6 your score now. Britt's starting to chip away.
Got to stay in this basketball game. You really can't get down a lot to these guys because they know how to slow you down and shut you down.
Nice
5 minutes to play first quarter. Jump shot from the right side is good by Kayla Wildman from Rockford. They do have some shooters. They don't have that ball handling guard, but they can shoot the basketball. Just not really, none of them are going to have any tryouts for the Harlem Globetrotters for a dribbling display at all. Shot no good, rebound comes off to Steers, and she's on the move. Back out front to Taylor, get everything set. Swings to the left corner, Bianowitz in and out. Larson there to pull down the rebound. Whew, that one was a good one. That looked like it had it right all the time from the moment it left her hand. It looked like it was going in.
Normally forgiving rims at the Kresge did not allow that one to drop.
Well, they're not forgiving to anybody from Angola tonight. That's the key. Bounce pass along the baseline, went off of the end line, and will go out of bounds, and the turnover gives the ball back to the Trine Thunder.
2 substitutions for Trine. Rachel Stewart and Sam Underhill check in. And taking a seat are Tara Bienowitz. And we'll get the second number here momentarily.
Early on here, the Brits really applying the pressure. They've gotten 1 turnover on 10 seconds here already, but they have kind of slowed things down a little bit for the Thunder with that pressure in the backcourt.
Yeah, Trine doesn't mind if the defense gets set up because of that plays like that right there. They couldn't cash in, but Had a nice screen and a nice break towards the basket.
Sloniger almost got it to go in, just couldn't quite make it work. The Britons with the basketball again. Larson had it tipped away just a little bit by Shea Herbert.
Got to set some solid screens. Got to get your shooters open outside.
Wishmeyer over Wildman, a little bit too strong. Ball bounces around, and Welker's able to pick it up, and she'll also pick up a foul.
Yep, trying to go for the loose ball. Can't fault her for that, but you make that much contact, the official has to blow the whistle.
That one will go against Shea Herbert. That'll be number 1 on Shea here tonight.
Unfortunate that the way they both landed on Elena Walker's right ankle right there, that there wasn't any real damage done.
Rebecca Ross to inbounds for the Lady Brits. 3.5 to play yet, quarter number 1.
Token pressure on the inbound right there. Just making you earn it.
Somebody needs to start hitting something from outside, but the problem that you got is they don't really give you that open look from outside. Going to have to set some sort of a screen, get somebody a wide open look as Larson missed that one. Put back no good, bounced around. Welker finally comes up with it.
There you go. Get it.
Jumper for Wish off the front iron, no good. Larson pulls it back in, puts it up, no good. Rebound fought for again. And a foul on who? Jump ball.
Yeah, I was going to say
there you go.
That's got to be a tie ball.
See the replay right now. Wishmeyer with that three-point shot that came up just a little bit short.
Sophie Sloneker checks in, the freshman guard. Again, this Trine not afraid to use their younger players, second or third freshman so far that's been in.
Couple of Slonigers on this team, couple of Argyles on this team, some sisters. It's not normal that you get a pair of sisters like that. Normally you get one pair, but not two.
Wonder if they all get along.
That would be interesting to know that dynamic, wouldn't it, huh? Britt's going to check a couple folks in. Burness and Tiffany Burgess sitting at the scorer's table waiting for that next dead ball.
Nice double screen.
I'll tell you what.
Man, that was a screen, 2 players with one screen right there. That's pretty efficient work.
They are not afraid to set up a good solid screen and let their person get around that screen for a shot, wide open shot.
No, and they're good screens too.
They are good solid screens.
If you can screen one player and take them out of the play, that's something. If you can screen 2, my friend, you're doing your job right.
And they did their job right that last time. I'm not sure whether that was Sam Underhill, maybe 23, that got that screen on that baseline.
Might have been. It was effective, though.
Bienowitz will check back into the ball game as Wildman gets her first breather here of the first quarter. 2.5 to play as we wait for everything to get sorted out here at the scorer's table. Kayla Artis waiting to check in for the Trine Thunder. She must be maybe coming in for the shooter right now.
12-6 your score, 2:35 to play, quarter 1.
First free throw is good, and I'll tell you what, Katie Steers now 3 for 3. So this is the one she's scheduled to miss as she hits 3 out of 4.
Yep, knocks them both.
Going to have Maury Ditzler on with us here at the half there. Jimmy, how's that?
Fantastic.
Should be a whole lot of fun. Have the president of the college. So 4 for 4 in the night. That means down the road when she needs one late in the ball game, she's going to leave one a little bit short here in the Kresge to get back to that 66%.
Trying to work it inside. They've cleared out a little bit, trying to get somebody to decongest the middle. Got an and one.
Welker goes up against Bienowitz in the air. Finally, we get one to bounce off that iron and stay home.
I have to think that's going to be an adjustment Trine's going to make, though, on defense. I don't think they're going to allow the forwards for Albion to play that far out and have them guard that dutifully. I think they're going to sense that, and they're going to eventually adjust by collapsing back in so the paint isn't going to be as open going forward as it was the last couple trips.
5-point game now as the Brits again continue to put on the pressure. This time Welker called for the reach in.
Got her before the tie ball right there. That'll be the first on Welker. Wishmeyer gets ready to check back in. 4 team fouls for the Brits, 3 team fouls for Trine.
At the end of the quarter, we'll check around the league and see how the men are doing here tonight. See what else is going on both sides, both the men and women's side here this evening as well. This is a busy Wednesday night in the MIAA as we're heading down to crunch time as the tournament's ready to start.
Got a
Shot
block.
put up no good and blocked away just a little bit. Sam Underhill had it knocked off of her and out of bounds. It'll be Britain's basketball.
And they're using the screen and roll very well so far as Trine Jim. Unable to cash that one in with the block, but I like that screen and roll play. It certainly gives you that open look.
Wish trying to find a seam. Lofts down on the block and then moves both of her feet, and she knew it. Kind of got set there and then shuffled those feet just a little bit.
Yep, easy call for the official right there, that extra step. Certainly doesn't hurt the cause that it's right in front of Trine's bench.
Britain's again with some good defense in the backcourt. Bienowitz throws it long and is happy to find Underhill on the other end of that pass that was heading for nowhere. Bounce back into Underwood, who puts it up off the glass and knocks it down.
Solid look, point blank range.
Underhill with her first bucket of the night. Rebound comes back to the Brits. It's put right back up and in, and a good job by the Britons
Tiffany
to knock
Burgess
that down.
with the bucket there.
Burgess gets her first here on the evening. I'll tell you what, you earn them down there in the paint, Jimmy. There's people reaching and grabbing and slapping and everything else down there on that baseline.
Ooh, that's a walk, not called, lost the handle. Trine makes you work.
They do make you work,
and
no
it
doubt
wears
about
you down.
that.
And that, that's why the fourth quarter was the way it was last time these two teams played. That defense just wears you down.
Sloniger with the spin goes through two Britons and should be called for traveling. Good call. Tried to split that double team down in the middle of the lane and just kind of lost her way. 16-11, Brits with a chance to cut this to the closest spot that it's been for a while.
Webcast at albion.edu. If you're tuning in from around the region or around the country, let us know where you're watching. And be sure to say hi to you on the air.
Love to say hi to you on the air tonight. Just to let us know that you're out there. Shot no good, but Burness gets it a little too strong.
Got a foul against the Brits crashing the board. Might be Burgess going up.
I think it's Tiffany Burgess that picks up the foul on that play. Yep, let us know where you're at tonight. Check in, say hi. We'd love to talk to you this evening. Down to under a minute to play here in this basketball game, 16-11. Trine looks like maybe. They missed that first free throw. Kayla Artis from Lake City, Michigan, a freshman. Trine so far in the first quarter shooting 45%. Brent's only 26%, Jim, as Artis makes one out of the two. 35 seconds on the game clock. Britain's with 30 seconds on this shot clock, so Trine will get the basketball back. Just depends on how quick the Brits want to put it up towards the rim. Wishmeyer looking for a screen. Now she's got Bienowitz on her.
Yeah. No screens up top, though. This isn't what's giving them the open looks down low.
Toss the ball back out front. 6 to shoot.
Oh, nickel dimer right there.
Whistle and a reach-in foul.
Going to get that one on Stewart, I believe.
Rebecca Ross, and now we'll turn the shot clock off, and that wipes out any opportunity for Trine if the Brits want to hang on to it. 7.5 to shoot in the quarter. Good idea to be able to get that last shot at the buzzer here. Cut that lead just a little bit, but you don't get any good looks. And it gets tipped away. Fought for 2 seconds, 1 second. Jump ball.
Staying with the Brits.
And the Brits will have it with 1.8 ticks left.
Need to get a shot off here. Can't let this one go without a good, at least a decent shot attempt. Trine will go into quarter two with the lead. It's just a question of by how much.
Lob pass to the rim, and the Brits won't get a shot off. Good idea, but Bienowitz with a nice job. 11 on 11 down there, as she had Rebecca Ross pretty much sealed off from that basketball. Ross really didn't have much to do once she finally got it. So at the end of one, 17-11, Brits trail by 6. Take a look at the scoring from that first quarter. Welker with 3, Burgess with 2, Larson with 2, Wishmeyer with 2, Hinton with 2. Hinton with 2 personal fouls. That's the big story of that first quarter. Walker with 3 rebounds to go along with the 3 points. On the other side, it's Kayla Wildman with 6, Katie Steers with 4, Bienowitz with 2, Underhill with 2, Taylor with 2, and Artis with 2.
Good depth scoring by both squads. And speaking of Kayla Wildman, Tal Novak emails in, says he's watching Kayla from Big Pine Key, Florida. The Novaks are tuning in from Florida, and we appreciate you watching the broadcast tonight and also for sending us an email. We definitely love to hear from fans from every team, not just from the Britons. I know this is the Britain Sports Network, but it's great to hear from the opposing team's fans and family as well.
Trine hitting almost 46%, 5 for 11 from the floor tonight, Jimmy. 2 for 4 from deep. 83% of their free throws, 5 out of 6 for the Britons. 5 for 21, only 24% from the floor. Have yet to reach from long distance, and they're 1 for 1 from the free throw line. 6 turnovers already for the Britons, so that is not going to be a good night if they end up matching that for all 4 quarters. Only 3 turnovers so far for the ladies from Angola, and 10 points off of turnovers for the ladies from Trine.
Yeah, it's in a lot of ways exactly how the first game went between these two teams. Britons a lot more shot attempts, but unable to cash them in.
Taylor kept that one alive. Boy, I'll tell you what, it is physical underneath that bucket right now. They are fighting for everything that's moving.
Trine ball.
Katie's
I'm sorry. Start of the quarter, Trine takes it out, so that takes the possession arrow. My bad.
Steers was on that ground just wrestling for that basketball, and it was just rugged underneath. That's the one thing about this team. They're not quite as tall as Hope. A little more physically built than Hope, a little more sturdy in there, so they don't give up their ground at all, man. You come at them, they just stand their ground. Larson misses that one, and boy, we've missed 3 or 4 right there at the point-blank range tonight.
Shots, yep.
Going to have to start making those. Bienowitz brings it out to Taylor. They'll swing it down the left side, then inside. Herbert kicks back out to a wide open Bienowitz, but it's way too long. And the rebound comes off to Rebecca Ross, and there'll be a tripping foul, I believe, on 25, Shea Herbert. And if that's on Herbert, I think that it's 2 on her. It is. 2 fouls on Herbert tonight.
So again, fouls starting to add up just a little bit. 9 total team fouls called in the first quarter.
Britton's looking for something. Larson has Taylor on her. Dribbles down to the baseline. I'll tell you what you don't see with Taylor is she makes that initial bump and then she bounces off of you a little bit, and that's when you can spin and go, as Larson had Taylor kind of fall on her very awkwardly. And she got a bloody nose maybe? I'm thinking that nose or that eye.
Well, if it's a bloody nose, she's coming out right away. They can't.
I don't think
so. That's not it.
Just red. Tell you what, you got to be tough to play this basketball game, no doubt.
Yes, you do.
Wildman kicks it back out front to Steers. Back to Wildman. Swing it around on the other side to Sloniger. Into the corner goes to Bienowitz.
Screen and roll.
Taylor waits for everybody to clear. Wasn't very accurate, but she just stayed there, got a rebound, and then was fouled. Well, I'll tell you what, she just hangs out underneath that rim and sucks in those rebounds, Jim.
That's the force under there.
She is a huge force under there.
Clears a spot, does a great job screening out. Kelsey, 6'2", out of Louisville, Kentucky, going to the line for a pair.
Wonder when maybe Coach will go back into a fin jab and bring her on tonight to maybe match up a little bit more with size.
Well, you need the physicality. Because
Hinton basically down with 2 personal fouls already. She's going to be sitting maybe for the rest of the quarter. Taylor splits the pair. It's a 7-point game again. Wishmeyer comes down, and I'll tell you, Wish would really like to be able to see a couple of open looks for 3, but they have not existed here, and they throw that ball away.
Jim Carden checks in, says appreciate the excellent broadcast, and Kenny said he loves the camera work as well.
There you go.
So giving a little production love. Jim Carden hanging out in Winter Haven, Florida.
Ross and Burgess could not connect. The turnover gives the basketball back to the ladies from Trine with a 7-point cushion. 8 minutes to play in quarter number 2.
And they did a great job in that first quarter of cashing in those points off turnover, so have to take better care of that ball.
Have to take better care of that ball. There's no doubt about that. Show and go. The ball gets bounced out. Sloniger down inside to Taylor, and that is.
Yeah.
Lower the shoulder and run on through. I'll tell you what, that young lady is not afraid of much anything underneath that board right now.
No, but you also have to communicate to her. That's the blind side. You have to communicate that you have a player coming in, So when she turns around, she doesn't really have much room to operate. You're going to have that contact. Not much you can do about it.
Wishmeyer almost tossed that one away. Burgess able to hang on to it. Being fought for with Katie Steers and a jump ball situation. We'll send the basketball back to the ladies from Trine. Yeah, we have been very sloppy with that basketball here in this first half.
And the Thunder have done a good job making the Brits pay for it. 18-11 your score, 7:39 to play here in the first half.
And I think that was the turnover number 8 for the Britons here tonight. Angelina Mendieta coming in for the Lady Brits. Young lady that we talked about in the pregame show has been battling with a bad ankle here all year long. Still waiting to see what this young lady can do once she gets on the floor for the Britons. Ball swings to the right corner. Jump shot for 3 is a little bit too long. Larson outfights everybody for the basketball. Amanda Larson off the glass and in. Says, I'm going to get it on one end and put it in on the other.
She's a tough player, a heart and soul kind of player. It's good to see her get that one after a couple of tough possessions.
Amanda Larson, only a sophomore, playing out of Howard City. And the Britons have cut it back to 5 again.
Good screen, open shot.
No good. Taylor loses the ball out of bounds. I thought maybe she'd gone over the top. Taylor likes to crash that board. She's not afraid of a little physicality underneath.
Nope, and if they're not going to call it, you keep doing it.
She came right over top that time of Rebecca Ross for my money. Ball went out of bounds, stays with the Britons. Mendieta kicks it to the corner. Back to Larson from the wing, jumper a little bit short. Larson tries to get that rebound, but Taylor able to scoop it in just at the last second. Steers brings to the front court. Bianowitz will bring it back out front to the top. Taylor gives it off to Sloniger. Sloniger lets loose of it in a hurry. Bianowitz on the cut. Over to Taylor on the right baseline. No good. Wishmeyer's there pulling that errant shot. All of a sudden, Trine's gone a little bit cold, Jim. Yeah, we need to take advantage of it.
It's going to happen, but this is where their really good defense takes away too many run potential.
Trine down to just 31% shooting now as Mendieta had that ball knocked away, and it will stay with Trine. And the foul will go against Rebecca Ross.
Got Ross going in for the swipe right there. Got the arm. Greg Check writes in. Says, giving a shout out to Elena Walker and family. Go Brits from Dearborn Heights.
So the Britons unable to take advantage of that opportunity. Still find themselves down by 5 here. Just about midway through quarter number 2.
Incidental contact, but again, you get those feet tangled. Once that player hits the deck like that, you have to call it. 2 quick fouls for Ross. So she'll take a seat.
Rebecca Ross will come to the bench. J.C. King will come off the bench. And the Britons will keep that full court pressure on.
Yep. You're not going to see too many players in their warm-ups here in the second half, I don't think.
Nope. I think everybody's going to get some minutes tonight because this is going to be one of those nights where everybody's got to give it 110. Bianowitz brings it out close to midcourt. Mendieta on her. Steers with a show. Cut off on the baseline to Taylor. Fall away. Awkward shot. No good. She goes over the top again. Burness with a nice job of boxing out. Taylor goes through her, and that's 2 now on Taylor for the night.
That's what it takes. That's what it takes. It's not about being the tallest player. It's about having the position and boxing out and just doing the fundamentals. Emily did the fundamentals right there. Forced her to go over the back, and Kelsey Taylor drew a little bit too much contact. Got her second foul.
Sam Underhill from Grand Rapids kicks back in, 6'1" freshman. Hey, she saw that. Bianowitz saw that one coming all the way. Waits for the double team to clear and lays it off the glass. Nice job by Bianowitz. You really got to be happy with the way that this young lady can play basketball.
Heads up play right there. Anticipated the pass, stepped in front, finished strong.
Good size, good movement. Was patient on the other end to wait and allow the defenders to get out of her way so she could lay it in. Wishmeyer with the double team.
Got to screen with purpose when you're screening up top.
King gives it back to Wish. Wishmeyer fights in the lane. Takes that extra step, puts it off the iron. No good. There's nothing but Trine Thunder around to grab that rebound. Bianowitz at midcourt with Burness on her. Bounce pass across the floor will go out of bounds, but it will go off the hands of Amanda Larson, and it will stay with the ladies from Trine.
Rachel Stewart getting ready to check in. Banovich to take a seat. 4:39 to play here in the first half. 20-13. Pretty quiet second quarter by both these teams. Good defenses, though. Trine's gone a little cold, but their defense has kept them in the lead.
Jump shot's no good. Nothing but Britton's underneath that board that time to pull it in as J.C. King gets her first rebound of the night.
Now you're going to have to start screening with intent. Open up that middle. Let your guards drive.
Burness has it knocked right back in her face. Underhill right there to knock that one away.
Just good defense.
Bounce pass underneath. Off the hands of Sam Underhill and out of bounds. And a turnover again for Trine. And all of a sudden, Trine having some troubles taking care of that basketball as they now have 6 turnovers of the night as coach calls a timeout for the Britons.
Want to let folks know, Jim, while you're looking up some scores, that Britain-bound days give admitted students the opportunity to sit in on a class, learn about Albion's learning opportunities, experience life on campus, and see popular areas of campus. Britain-bound days are set for February 17, March 20, and April 17. Direct questions to the Office of Admission, 517-629-0718, or visit albion.edu/admission.
Well, for all you Brits fans out here, here's a little good news for you. 25 ticks left in the first half over in Kalamazoo, and the men up 42-29. So they had that tough ball game on Saturday afternoon where they and Trine both got bumped. In fact, all the guys got bumped on that Saturday afternoon, but tonight the men are starting to play a little basketball again, up 42-29, shooting 35% or 52% from the floor right now, 19 of 36.
Look at Kalamazoo's stats on the right. 9 made field goals, 8 of them three-pointers. All but 3 field goal attempts in that game have been three-pointers by Kalamazoo, 23 of their 26 attempts.
Isn't that something, huh?
I think I know what the game plan is.
Ben Ryder, 2 for 4. Tanner Bliley, 2 for 3. Jannard Smith, 2 for 3. Those are the 3 guys that have put the three-pointers up for their Brits. 10 points for M.J. Barnes. He leads all the Britons. 8 points for James L. 6 for Paulo and Armstrong here tonight as the Britons off to a good lead in the first half. And a reach-in foul in the hold will go against the ladies from Trine.
Yep. Undersized Britons lineup in there right now, Jim. I would argue there are at least 3, maybe 4 guards in there.
Trying to beat him a little bit maybe with speed right now, Jim, because that is the one thing that you might have an advantage on them. Yep, although they do play some excellent switching defense. Mendieta left that three-pointer about 2 feet too short. Again, when you don't get a chance to play as much as what she has not this year, hard to have that stroke down. But it looks like she's going to get some playing time tonight, though.
All hands needed.
Wildman drives all the way to the rim, and we got a charge on Wildman. And a great job by Burness to stand down there and take that charge.
That's part of the toughness. One of the things, again, that we learned from the Hope game was teams like Hope and Trine are going to bring the toughness aspect, and you're going to have to match that intensity. Drawing that charge may not sound like fun. It definitely isn't fun to get run into. But when you stand your ground, you get that call, that toughness starts to get instilled throughout the team.
You want to talk about a low-scoring quarter, Jimmy. It's 3-2 right now. This was 17-11 at the end of the first quarter. Trine scored 3. Brits have scored 2.
Brits are looking for a shooter right now.
5 to shoot. Larson needs to take one. Off the iron, no good. Rebound, put back, and it stays home. And we finally got a shot there by J.C. King to go in underneath, probably the smallest young lady on the floor.
J.C. King only 5'8". No fear they'll crash in the boards.
Down there with the trees.
Going to get a turnover.
Brits need to get back. And there's a 10-second call. That's the second time now that Trine's not been able to take care of the basketball the way they wanted to with that pressure in the backcourt.
And the thing is, Jim, is we saw it earlier with 2 Trine Thunder players wide open on the other end. You think they're selling out for that full court pressure. If they just heave it down court, they have that chance to get 2 players with no defenders, but they're not getting the look to throw it down there.
Not at all. Burness deep, 3 off the iron, no good. Rebound comes off to Trine.
That would have been a big 3 right there to cut the lead to 2.
Steers going to take it end to end, lost the handle. And the rebound comes off to Amanda Larson. I'll tell you where Larson came from, I do not know. Katie Steers waiting for that basketball. Larson stepped in front of her and pulled it down. I'll tell you what, Amanda Larson just wants to tonight. She is playing real hard. You look at that eye and that cheek. She's got a little shiner over that left eye right now from where she took that fall.
Tough young lady, though.
5-point game into Larson in traffic, off the glass, and Amanda's got a bucket.
It's hard to guard that. She took that angle fast.
Amanda Larson now with 6 points on the night. Britain's cut this thing back down to 3. This is the closest it's been for a while. And again, Trine only scored 3 points so far in this quarter, and we've got a minute and a half to go. You'd think the Britons would be up by a bunch, but the Brits had a hard time scoring some points as well.
Nice answer right there by Rachel Stewart. It's her first basket of the night. Extends the lead back to 5 with just under 1:20 to play in the half.
Britain's looking for a bucket with 1:13. Burness with a stop and the pass. Larson with a show into the lane, off the glass, and yes, ma'am.
And she is dialed in right now, Jim.
Amanda Larson has come to play basketball tonight for the Lady Brits, trying to keep them in the game all by herself, 22-19.
This game has taken its toll on both these teams. You can see the fatigue setting in, and we're not even at halftime.
It has been a physical basketball game. Not a lot of points scored, but boy, I'll tell you what, you better be strong to be out there tonight. These two teams are bouncing around, and Stewart takes it strong, but takes too many steps getting there. And the turnover gives the ball back to the Britons again. If I see a weakness in this team at all from Trine, it's that ability to handle that basketball when you need to. And they're all of a sudden bringing a bunch of new faces off that bench. Michaela Artis is number 3. She came in. Also number 1, Alyssa Argyle in the ball game here for Trine, as they'll play with some subs for the last 30 seconds of this first half.
Got an email watching 11 and Company live in Boston.
There you go.
Didn't get a name on that one, though, so I'd love to give you a shout out, but it was an alphanumeric email address. So
Wishmeyer looking for a shot. Tosses the ball down to Larson, has it tipped away by Bienowitz, and then the reach-in foul on Larson will give the ball to Trine with 7 seconds left to go in the quarter.
Yeah, you're right. She got a shiner under that left eye.
Yep. When she came up, I thought it was bleeding, and when she first was starting to play with it, there was something definitely there.
Well, turnover.
Oh, my gosh. Britons will have that opportunity again as no time goes off the clock and 7.1 seconds to play in the quarter. And the Britons, who have outscored Trine 8-5 in quarter number 2, would like to make it 11-5 right now and tie this basketball game up by making their first 3-point shot of the evening.
What's that line from the movie Predator, Jim? I ain't got time to bleed.
That's it, man, exactly. Britons are 0 for 4 from deep here tonight. They're 9 for 33 from the floor, 27%.
Ross checks in and Burgess checks out. They reset the clock to 7.3. A couple tenths must have ticked off when they inbounded, even though it didn't touch anybody.
Wishmeyer again, double team, dishes to Larson, leaves it short. Rebound Bienowitz, and that's going to do it for the quarter as she'll just dribble it out. And the ladies from Angola will take a 3-point lead into the locker room, 22-19 here on a Wednesday night at the Kresge Center. And Jim, I'll tell you what, 17-11 in that first quarter, and all of a sudden you're thinking this is going to be one of those 70-62 games or something like that. And then here comes quarter number 2, and the Britons score 8 and the Thunder score 5.
Yeah. And you and I talked about it on the ride up, that Trine, the way this team's built and the defense that they have, they're comfortable slugging it out in the 50s. They're more than happy to go up to the 70s if you want. They don't really worry about either of those two scenarios. The Britons, though, again, in the 2 losses recently against Hope and Trine, only in the 40s in both of those cases. So this is a game that right now it looks like it's playing into the 40s, but the Britons defense, especially the full court defense, is doing the kind of job that both teams may end up in the 40s as opposed to just the Britons.
And we've got a special halftime guest. Maury, move back just a little bit. We're going to put your handsome face on TV. How's that? It's just a wide enough angle that they'll get you and Jimmy, the good-looking guys, and I'll be off screen. I'll just be that voice. I've got that radio face, you know what I mean? Maury Ditzler with us, president of Albion College. Maury, welcome in.
Thank you.
You know what? This has been a battle so far, hasn't it?
It's been a fun game. Both teams have a lot of energy.
Yeah.
They need to make some baskets, so that's the only thing they give us points for.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Neither team got into double digits in that second quarter. It was kind of a slow game, but you know what? A very physical game in there. Both these teams kind of rough and tumble underneath that bucket tonight.
You know, to be 3 points down after being in foul trouble most of the first half is a good place for us to be.
Yes.
We're always a third quarter team.
Yes, no doubt about that. And I think we found something maybe with this full court pressure tonight, possibly too, you know?
You know, it's a lot of energy on that. More energy than I've seen in a while.
Yeah. You know what? You look at this basketball team the ladies have this year, and you think if you got hope and you've got Trine in this conference, and you look at our record at 18-4, man, we're playing the number 2 team in the country twice this year, and we're still 18-4. Doreen's done a really nice job with these girls this year.
Really proud of them. Really proud of them.
They've done a wonderful job. Now, talk to me a little bit. You announced not long ago that this is going to be your last one here at the college, huh?
It is. You know what? I got old. and this is the best job in the world, being a college president. And you got to give it up and let someone else try it for a while. You can't be greedy and hold on to it forever.
There you go. So that's exactly what you're going to do. What's any plans after this? Is this going to be a retirement, or are you going into the sunset and maybe finding a nice home on a lake, or what's going to happen?
You know, a lake sounds interesting, but my wife and I have a farm in southern Indiana. We have a bed and breakfast, and I've been looking forward to going down and working with Judy on that for a long time. She's been running it by herself for almost 20 years, and she thinks I ought to come help her.
Oh, my gosh. Does she even recognize you, Maury, when you get down there after this length of time, is what I wonder, huh?
Yeah.
If it were my wife, she would act like she didn't recognize me. Who are you, and what are you doing here? Call the police.
So my next job is picking apples for Judy, and you know, the great thing is she's not going to fire me, and she's not even going to look at my resume. She's just going to put me out there in the orchard and give me a bag, and I'm going to be picking apples.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's wonderful. Where's the farm in Indiana?
Oh, it's north of Terre Haute. It's in Rosedale, Indiana, like Rose Holman.
Yes.
So they'll, you know, when we come down and play Rose Holman next year or the year after, it'll be a home game for me.
Yeah, that'll be an easy. That's a beautiful part of the country too. That's a beautiful farm land down in that area too. No doubt about that. Well, I'll tell you what stands out the most in the time here at Albion? Is there any one or two things maybe that you could share with the folks watching right now? There will be highlights in Maury Ditzler's highlight book 10 years from now when you're sitting on that tractor collecting those apples.
You know, it's faculty and the students. Our faculty have worked so hard for the last half dozen years building an academic reputation. We're so pleased this year to see that we were listed as one of the 30 best colleges and universities in the Midwest and one of the 10 incredible liberal arts colleges on the rise. Those are great lists to be on, and we're on there because our faculty work really hard and they work with our students. So I'm so proud of the work they've done. And our students have really worked on proving that you can have a diverse environment, proving that you can have diversity on a campus and learn how to work together and learn how to get along and learn how to debate with people who differ from you and do it in a civil way. This is really a model campus for learning how to work together in America.
Man, I'll tell you what, we need a lot more of that nowadays, don't we?
We do.
Oh, gosh, we've gotten away from one thing in the United States right now. It's being able to talk to one another.
And that's what liberal arts colleges do. We say we're dramatically residential because we spend a lot of time together, and one of the things you learn when you live together is learn how to get along.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
And I also am going to remember the athletic programs. What a great final year for basketball for me. Men and women both playing really strong. I'm a Hoosier, so I love basketball, and I love to win at basketball games, and I think we might do that tonight.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Men are taking care of business over at Kalamazoo tonight, too, and that's kind of important because it would be a lot of fun for your last year to host an MIAA basketball tournament in this facility, wouldn't it?
And we're still dreaming of hosting an NCAA tournament game maybe. So I haven't heard the score. What's happening over at Kalamazoo?
They were up by about 13 with about a minute left to go in that first half,
great.
So it looked like they'd gotten over that Saturday slump that they had. But you know what? We talked about that an awful lot. To think about a basketball team that can go perfect through the year. The Hope women right now have not lost a game. And you almost sitting there when we talked to Coach the last time, do you almost not want to lose one game before you get to that tournament because eventually the odds just finally catch you?
You know, these are young men and young women, and they've got complicated lives, and they have exams, and they have to study late at night, and some days they have the cold, some days they have the flu, and some days they're upset with their friends, and to expect them to do things that we can't do as adults, right? It's hard for us to be on every day, and they've got so many more challenges, and then we ask them to be on for every Wednesday and every Saturday all winter long, and it's hard to do.
It is hard to do.
And Coach, we had I'm sorry, Maury. We had Matt Arend up here at halftime not too long ago, and he was telling us about all of the improvements and expansions that have been done thanks to the Sarah family and other projects like that. Just talk a little bit about how the facilities have changed kind of over the years and the recent improvements that have been made around the campus.
You know, when I arrived, the football field was just had just been renovated, and we were playing lacrosse on the football field, and you know, that lacrosse field and that baseball field and the softball field are such improvements from where we were before. I'm looking forward to when we can renovate Kresge sometime soon. The Sarah Fitness Center, so much fun, and it's going up so fast. I was in there about a week ago, and they were starting to put up drywall, and I think within 2 or 3 weeks that interior is going to be finished. Outside going to be very attractive, a place for all of our students to exercise. I can remember when we tried to squeeze all the athletic teams and all the students into a little weight room in the middle of winter, and then we opened up the gymnasium in Washington Gardner School, so we had a little more room. But now we're going to have that wonderful fitness center down on the Dow. Exciting to see that go up. I'm looking forward to some other projects too. The BTEC Music Building. I'd love to break ground on that before I leave campus in July. I've seen some really amazing drawings for a potential theater we might build downtown. Can't talk about that yet because we don't have all the money in place, so I didn't say anything about that. But some
We didn't hear anything
really
about
good things on the in the wings for this college.
And Maury, one of the things that has been kind of a constant over the years is the strong sense of community, not just within Albion College, but the way Albion has embraced the community and the community has embraced the college.
You know, one of the things that we started thinking about 5 or 6 years ago is that if our competitive advantage is the amount of time faculty spend with students, it's important that they live in town so that they can be on campus on weekends and the evenings. And that's not going to happen if we don't have a great town. And so, well, we want to be a good supporter of the town for lots of reasons. One of it's purely pragmatic. We want the town to get stronger and stronger so all of our faculty live in town. And we have 62 out of 104 faculty live in Albion this year, and that bodes well for the town and for the college, and it's a really good move in a great direction.
Now, Maury, a president is on call pretty much 24/7, so when you eventually get down to the farm in Indiana, are you still going to be up sometimes 11, 12 o'clock at night looking at that phone waiting for something to happen, or how long is that transition going to take you where you can finally take a breath and relax a little bit?
We'll see how long it is before I sleep through at 2 o'clock in the morning, because the admissions numbers pop up on my computer at 2 a.m. every morning, and I'm always anxious to see how many students were admitted that day and how many deposited, so my brain just says, I wake up at 2:08 and walk over to the computer and see what it has to say. It may take me a few years to sleep through that. You know, I'm looking forward to relaxing. On the other hand, I think that when a firefighter retires and the siren goes off, they think, well, I don't have to rush into that burning building. On the other hand, their whole career is trained towards wanting to do that. And when there are crises and issues happening on college campuses, part of me will say, I don't have to worry about that. And part of me will say, I want to rush into that that burning building and see what I can do.
Right. But I mean, you've left a tremendous legacy for Albion College and so many improvements, and really it's ultimately you can judge it based on the quality of the students and the graduates that this college has.
And aren't they great? Every time I meet another group of graduates, so impressed with what they're doing in the world out there. Well into the process of looking for my replacement. One of the most important things that we could do for our legacy is make sure that the college in a position to hire someone better than we when we leave, and so really excited to hear that there's a strong pool, strong search committee, and they're well along in that process.
Oh, that is wonderful. Well, I'll tell you what, we sure have appreciated your help with us over the years. It's been 5 years that we've been doing this, and it's hard to imagine it's been 5 years already.
Yeah, we've had some good chats at football games, and this is my first time up here in the Crow's Nest at a basketball game. I I almost got through my whole career without coming up
Well,
at halftime, so I'm glad you invited me up tonight. Yeah.
It's all Andre's fault if he didn't want to come up. How's that? I'm blaming it all on him, okay?
And I'm looking over your shoulder. I see that halftime score at Kalamazoo is we're up 49-31. That's a good score. You know, maybe they could loan us a few of those points.
Exactly. We could use a couple of them right here. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Maury, thank you for the time. Thank you for all the support. Good luck. I'm sure this isn't the last time we're going to see you before the season's over, but we really appreciate all your help and all the things you've done to help us.
Thanks a lot, and go Brits in the second half.
You bet. Go Brits. Maury Ditzler, the president of Albion College, with us here. It is 22-19 at the half here at Albion at the Kresge Center. And the Lady Brits are down, and as Maury said, they're just opened up in the second half in Kalamazoo tonight, and the men are up by 15 right now, 49-34, as they're about 2 minutes, almost 3 minutes into the second half on that ball game here tonight. We'll step away for a minute. When we come back, the second half of your ball game here on the Britain Sports Network.
Life's greatest achievements are born of its greatest challenges. Those times that call us to unite and work toward needed solutions. At Albion College, our strength lies in our tireless passion to do just that. Making connections that make an impact. Connections between driven students and devoted educators. Between a visionary small school and a welcoming small city. And between bold dreams and the will to shape a better future. Yes, we believe colleges have an obligation to pursue a higher purpose, to serve the community and the world. And because the spread of knowledge benefits us all, this is a campus committed to embracing diverse beliefs and backgrounds, not to emphasize differences, but to prosper from important perspectives. Perspectives that can overcome uncertainty, indifference, and the impossible. By connecting open minds and tenacious spirits from all walks of life, ours is a culture that believes no challenge is too great to conquer. We are purple and bold. We are Albion College.
The Kresge Gymnasium on the campus of Albion College. Jim Bellamy, and I'll be joined momentarily by Jim Funderburg. And again, thank you very much to President Maury Ditzler for coming up and sharing some time at the half, and appreciate Andre bringing him up. Your score at the half, 22-19, the Trine Thunder lead. Trine only made 7 field goals in that first half, 7 of 23 shooting, 2 of 7 from three-point territory. They did a good job of hitting the free throws, 6 of 8 from the charity stripe. They're +5 in free throws compared to the Brits, and they have a 3-point lead, so that's pretty much your damage in the first half. The Brits 9 of 33 shooting, have not made a 3-point field goal attempt yet, and they converted their only free throw of the game. Both teams have turned the ball over quite a bit. 18 total turnovers, 10 for the Brits and 8 for Trine. The difference is how they've taken care of those points. Trine has 12 points off turnovers compared to 4 for the Brits. The Britons have won the rebounding edge in the first half, 24-16. They've evened that up, 12 on the offensive end, 12 on the defensive end. Points in the paint, 14-10 advantage Brits, and bench points has been pretty even, 5 points for Trine, 4 for the Brits. So really it's just a game of cold streaks. Again, single-digit scoring for both teams in that second quarter after a pretty fast start. Your game's leading scorer is Amanda Larson with 8 points on 4 of 10 shooting. She also has 6 rebounds. 3 points for Elena Walker, Burgess, King, Wishmeyer, and Hinton with 2 points apiece. But the 2 fouls for Hinton saddled her for most of that first half, sidelined her, I should say. 2 fouls for Welker, Burgess, Hinton, and Ross. For the Trine Thunder, Kayla Wildman leads the team with 6 points. Benovich has 4, as does Steers. 3 points for Kelsey Taylor, 2 apiece for Stewart and Underhill, and Michaela Artis has 1 point for the Thunder. All 4 of Katie Steers' free throws dropped, and Jim, free throws pretty much the difference in that first half. Trine +5 on free throws, and they have that slim 3-point lead.
Man, I'll tell you what, it's been a good basketball game. We go back to the starters. It's Wildman, Bienowitz, Steers, Herbert, and Taylor.
That's 3.
And that's
just like that
3
on Taylor.
For Trine, and we go back to Rain Hinton, who came in, who had those 2 quick fouls in that first half. She'll be shooting the free throws. Burness, Hinton, Wishmeyer, Larson, and Welker. Quick updates on a couple of scores in the women's side as Hinton makes the first one. It's Olivet leading Adrian 36-35 at the half. Calvin leads Kalamazoo 37-25 at the half, and Hope over St. Mary's 36-19 at the half. As Hinton splits 2 of them. Long pass, Hinton got a hand on it, but it got to the mark that it wanted to find, and Kayla Wildman beats everybody down the floor and gets an easy lay-in.
Yep.
That's about the first one we've seen all night, Jimmy.
Yeah, I worked the ball right back down to Rain Hinton right here and tried to get number 4.
Looks like that's where they're going, Taylor and Hinton. You can see Taylor got a little bit of size. 3-point jumper is a little bit short. Rebound fought for, but pulled in by Bienowitz.
So Trine looking to run, but the Brits get back on defense. Thunder up 4 early here in quarter 3.
I had to check those stats, but I think that was the first fast break points we've had all night for either one of those teams on that last pass.
Nice cut. Lost the handle.
Ball on the ground, out of bounds, off of the Brits. I think they say Wishmeyer touched it last, as Kayla Wildman was trying to fight and stay on the court right down there at the end line.
11 on the shot clock, 9:06 to play, quarter number 3. Again, 24-20, a low-scoring contest here at the Kresge.
Britton's trying to play a little defense here, maybe get another turnover there on a shot clock violation. Taylor tries to eliminate that. She takes it hard right over Rain Hinton. That's the other thing with Hinton with those 2 personal fouls. She can't be too aggressive either, and Taylor with her 3 personal fouls able to find that spot. Hinton from the left side of the free throw line, no good, but she'll fight for the ball, not get it. Taylor tips it over to another member of the Trine crew. That was Wildman.
And screening out. You just can't state it enough how important the fundamentals are.
And they do them extremely well down at Angola. That's why they've only got 1 loss here in the conference so far. Taylor looking for that backdoor cut from Bienowitz, and Bienowitz will get the bucket, and she'll also get a foul.
Strong move.
Got to cut that baseline off, allowed Bienowitz to get down, get her spot. And I'll tell you what, they're not afraid to take that shot from right there at the rim. Either Bienowitz or Taylor, either one of them, very strong on that offensive glass. Leaves that one a little short. Taylor almost went over the top on that one, but we've got a
fire too on Larson.
Larson's had a tough night, man. She took one to the ribs right there. Hitting on Taylor. Goes up too strong. Ball gets tipped out of bounds. It will stay with the Brits as it goes off 25, Shea Herbert. Yeah, Larson has had a rough night here at the Kresge tonight, Jim. She's going to look like she's been in a street fight before it's over with here this evening.
All 10 rounds.
No doubt about it. And she's there for all 10 of them, too. Hinton and Taylor going to work. Hinton crosses over. Can't get the ball to go in. Rebound comes off to Bienowitz of Trine. To Steers into the front court. Back to Bienowitz on the wing with Larson on her. Burness saw that one coming. She'll go 1-on-2 length of the court, and she'll draw the foul.
Was on the way up, though, because the block itself was clean, but it was the wrist before. She was still in the act of shooting, and it will send Emily to the line for a pair.
Herbert pulls down the foul. If you're wondering, the men have stretched it to 17 now, 62-45, with just under 12 to play in Kalamazoo.
First for Burness is nothing but net. Cuts the lead to 7, 28-21. Still 7:45 to play quarter 3, a very low-scoring quarter 2. So it's good to see that ball fitting in that cylinder.
It sure is. There for a while in that second quarter, it looked like somebody had put a lid on both ends. Neither team able to knock anything in. And again, good, tough, scrappy defense underneath would normally make it one and done. 6-point game, Trine with the basketball in the lead. Steers wings it inside to Herbert. Taylor fights for the basketball. Hinton tried to come up with it, but it went off of Shea Herbert.
You had 2 players standing out of bounds. That ball hit off both of them. So I trust the officials closest, but I would have bought either call right there.
Could have gone either way, I agree. Welker brings it to the front court, gives it to Larson. Swings it down inside.
A screen hitting here and give her an open look.
Hinton spins over Taylor. Boy, she just have been a little short. Wishmeyer with the rebound and the putback, though. Evelyn just kind of snuck into where they didn't want her, and she was able to make a whole lot of ruckus on that backboard.
Got a lot of back and forth right there. A little bit too close for Elena Walker. Riding kind of on the hip. Got her for the foul. Both players, though, kind of giving and taking on that way down. They're going to sleep well tonight, both these teams.
Katie Steers, a senior out of Portage. She's been doing this for a couple of years in this conference. She was a mainstay on that basketball team last year. So this is a young lady who's been through the MIAA wars.
And again, Trine hosted last year's postseason tournament. There's a kick off Wishmeyer out of bounds. So they're no stranger to the importance of February basketball and playing these tight games. This is another one, 28-24. Low-scoring affair here at the Kresge, but still a lot of time left to play.
19 to shoot here for the Lady Thunder. And a wild shot, no good, and the rebound comes off to the Brits.
Frustration foul right there on Steers.
Welker had the basketball. Steers just always trying to rip and tear that ball loose.
And again, you do it until they call it.
Got 4 points on the night, and that's her second personal foul. 3 team fouls now on Trine, 2 for the Lady Brits. Heading towards the midway point here of quarter number 3. Hinton with a new face on her, that's Underhill. Hinton puts it up, but boy, I'll tell you, Rain has just had a tough night. Not getting anything to drop right there in the paint tonight.
No, but they're doing a good job bodying her up.
Something that Rain's going to learn as she gets a little bit older in this league as well.
Pass.
Rain leaves for the double team, and the bump goes to Underhill for the easy lay-in.
That was great recognition right there.
I'll tell you what, Bienowitz, we say they don't handle the ball all that well. You can't handle it any better than that one right there. 3-point shot by Wishmeyer is a little bit short. Bienowitz sets up, let's go from distance.
That's a big basket right there for Trine and a timeout.
9-point cushion right now for the ladies from Angola as they come to the sideline to high fives. On the other side, coach's got to figure some things out with the Lady Britons as Trine now on a little bit of a mini run.
Yeah, the Brits seem to be able to cut it to about 3. And then Trine starts to pull back away. Webcast at albion.edu is where you get us. If you want to drop a line about where you're watching, let us know who you're rooting for. If you are a family member of one of the players or maybe a graduate of the school, we'd love to hear from you. So shoot us an email, please, at webcast@albion.edu.
Britain's up by 23 now in Kalamazoo, so that one looks like it's pretty much in the bag there for the men right now, Jim. That's good news. For the ladies from Trine now, they are on a 8-0 run. It was 6-0 run, 22-20 at the 9:51 mark. So the Britons have gone a little bit cold here over the course of the last 3.5 minutes or so. Need to find that bucket again. Man, look at that defense being played by Steers. Just
the exact same foul that was called the opposite way against Welker for riding the hip. There was Steers doing the same thing, and that's Steers' 3rd foul.
Sloniker will come in. Sitting down will be Shea Herbert.
They're going to leave Steers out there with her 3. They pulled Taylor not long after she got her 3rd.
Taylor on the bench with 3. Steers on the floor with 3. Back inside, show and go by Welker in the reverse over Steers, who really could
Doesn't
do
want to
nothing.
Pick up 4, yep.
Had to just stand there and watch.
And that probably had to just make her upset to no end too, because she is a tough defender.
Sloniker and Steers play pass to get it in the front court.
Brits are making them work with that full court pressure.
They really are.
Both teams looked really fatigued at the end of that first half.
And by the end of the night, as you said, Jimmy, both teams are going to sleep really well. 3-point jumpers got nothing but cords for Kayla Wildman.
When they need them, they get them.
Tell you what, they worked that shot open. So far tonight, the Brits have not had an open 3-point shot. Not like that one. They run the screens, the double screens. They find their shooter. And they've gotten some good looks. Good job to work it in by Rain Hinton for an easy lay-in.
Going in on Underhill right there. Strong move. Underhill did well not to draw an and one foul.
Underhill, a very solid replacement when they bring her off the bench, no doubt about that.
Yeah, there's some quality depth on that Thunder team.
There's 10 solid players on this basketball team from Angola. There's no doubt about that. They're going to be tough in the playoffs. Benowitz a little bit long this time, and Welker's there to pick it up off the floor and make a run. Welker with a stutter, up, ball gets knocked out of bounds, and Benowitz will be called for going over the top.
Yeah, Banovich with the foul right there, and that'll send him to the line for a pair.
2 now on her.
And Welker is 73% free throw shooter on the season.
Argyle in now. Katie Steers will go to the bench with those 3 personal fouls.
Burness takes the seat. And it looks like Ross might have checked back in for the Brits.
First free throw will find its way home. Wishmeyer and Hinton, Larson, as you said, Rebecca Ross, and the shooter, Alina Welker. The 5 on the floor right now for the Lady Britons with 4:07 to play in this third quarter. Second one also bounces around and finds its way to the floor. 36-30.
Here's usually where Trine gets a big answer.
Yep. Here's where you got to stop that answer and maybe start taking control of this basketball game if you're the Lady Britons. Work your way maybe into the lead to start that fourth quarter. That would be a first for Trine to have to play from behind here a little bit tonight. Argyle with a good job. All of a sudden, everybody walks away from her. And the young lady from Freeland, Michigan, the 5'3" sophomore, says thank you very much. From 10 feet, I'm pretty deadly.
Especially when you're not guarded.
38-30.
Shooters take exception to that.
They really do. She took her time, sized it up, and knocked it home. Wishmeyer back out to Hinton. Lob pass to Larson, who's cutting in the back door. First nice look on that backdoor cut by the Brits here tonight. And the Britons having been in trouble on the other end line. Getting close. Had to get that over with about a second to spare. But a good job by Kaylee Argyle. This might be the young lady looking for as far as the dribbler.
Nice pass.
Oh, that one was close, but it was a foul, I believe, on Wishmeyer.
Well, they got Wishmeyer. You're right.
Hinton was on the front. Wish came from the back. That was awful close to being all ball. Officials right there on the spot. Burness will come in and check in for Wish.
Bridget Artis says, go Trine, watching from Lake City, Michigan. And also Kim Phillips, proudly watching granddaughter Rebecca live from Gaylord, Michigan. Go Brits. Mia and Papa Ross.
Mendieta checks into the lineup also for the Britons. She's seen a lot more playing time tonight. Talking to the coach's staff again tonight. She's been having some problems with an ankle sprain that just won't heal enough for her to really be effective out here. But tonight's been the most minutes we've seen her put in yet this year. And it's good to see her starting to find her way out of that basketball floor. Second shot is a little bit long, but the good bounce.
Yeah, very friendly rims here at the Kresge.
No doubt about that.
Take those rims with you when the new gym
Underhill
goes up.
Hits both of them and the lead back up to 8. Brits need to be on a little bit of run with some momentum going into this fourth quarter.
Outside range right there.
Rain Hinton thinking about it with 8 to shoot. Burness dribbles the baseline, has a double team, a whistle, and a traveling call as Emily trying to get around the double team. Took an extra step. 8-point contest again. Full court pressure by the Britons. This time Trine handles it pretty well. And again, I'll give kudos to Kaylee Argyle, who's in here a little better ball handler than what they've had on the floor here tonight. Gives them a better opportunity to break that press. Ball comes back out front to Sloniger. Wildman with 6 to shoot, lost the handle.
Ross on the foul.
Will go against Rebecca Ross.
Staying on the floor. Wasn't in the act of shooting anyway. That'll be 14 fouls against the Brits, 3 for Ross, 5 team fouls for Trine. 2:07 to play, quarter 3. Trine up 8, 40-32 here on the Britain Sports Network.
Welker and Wishmeyer back onto the floor for the Britons.
Don't give up an easy under the basket look right here.
Good job by the Brits. That ball's going across the timeline. It'll be Britain's basketball. Good defense. I'll tell you what, whatever happens tonight, Coach's got to be happy with the way her team is scrapped here in this full court pressure.
Intensity, yep. And it's forcing the issue in terms of stamina. I mean, at this point, the tank has to be close to empty for all these teams. This has been a tough conference schedule, a tough conference season. But, you have to empty it all out now.
You really do. There's nothing to waste any energy or save any energy for as Underhill swats that pass away from Hinton. Hinton on the other end, standing their ground. Throw back out front, no good by Underhill. Tell you what, that almost is Trine-ish, the way that she stood down there and walled that ball out.
Yep.
Welker all the way underneath the bucket. Back out to Wishmeyer, but again, a hand right in her face, so no clean three-point look for Evelyn tonight. Hinton on the reach in. Jump ball. And the arrow's pointing Trine's way. Not a happy call from the crowd here to our right, who are all wearing purple and gold. With 1:18 to play in quarter number 3. Britain's looking for some magic here as they're down 8. Again, the third quarter where the scoring was ratcheted up just a little bit after an 8-5 second quarter.
Because they can't help but be.
18-13 now, Trine on top of the Britons here in quarter number 3. Under a minute to play with 9 to shoot. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Underhill throws in 2, 1. Shot got off just before the buzzer. Man, Sophie Sloniger from Monroe, Ohio, able to cash that in and make it a 10-point lead here as we're going to end this third quarter. Hinton needs to find a way against Underhill to put some points on the board. Hinton puts it on the floor, then throws it up, no good. And Wishmeyer will get called, trying to get around a couple of bodies to get to that basketball.
That'll be number 2 on Wishmeyer.
Larson about to check back into the ball game for the Britons. As Rebecca Ross will take a seat with 27 seconds left. Shot clock is off. Sloniger at the free throw line.
Both teams in the bonus with the 5 fouls here in the quarter. 1 and 1. I'm sorry, 2 shot. There's no 1 and 1.
First one a little bit too strong. Maybe the Brits get lucky. See if Sloniger, who is a 70%er from the year, will miss them both, and she did. But Trine with a rebound. Goodness gracious. Long three-point by Benowitz, no good. Benowitz no good, and the rebound by Sloniger. The jump ball situation, this time the arrow points to the home side.
Missed opportunity right there for Trine after missing the free throws, getting the board. You thought that kick out for the 3, that
looked deadly to me.
Been the kind of game it's been for the Thunder, but that one did not go.
So Welker will bring it into the front court. Brits need to score here. Get a little mojo working heading into that fourth quarter. Cut this thing under a 10-point lead.
Need a screen.
Welker drives, kicks. Burness has it blocked. Ball goes out of bounds, but is saved by Bienowitz. And with that, the horn will blow, and quarter number 3 is in the books. And the Britons find themselves on the wrong end of a 42-32 score here through 3 at the Kresge.
High school sophomores and juniors are invited to get a taste of what Albion has to offer. Albion 101 is scheduled for April 9th. Direct questions to the Office of Admission, 517-629-0718, or visit albion.edu/admission.
Things happening a little bit better for the purple and gold over at Kalamazoo tonight as the men up 86-63 with 4.5 to play, Jimmy. I think you can put that one in the W contest, side of the contest tonight. Men are shooting 57% almost, 56.5, 35 of 62. Man, they got 62 shots off tonight, 12 of 21, hitting 57 from behind the arc, which was a downfall Saturday afternoon when they really couldn't knock anything down from any kind of distance.
Look at the three-point shooting for Kalamazoo, Jim. 13 of 33.
There you go.
33 of their 47 field goal attempts in the game have been for 3.
Brits being led by M.J. Barnes with 22 tonight. Josh Pallow with 15. James Zell with 15. Quentin Armstrong with 12. Caden Ebling with 10. Cortez Garland with 6, Jawan Perry with 4, and Justin Maccabee with 4 points for the Britons tonight. On the other side, Bliley with 20, and he is 3 for 4 from distance. And Ben Ryder is 5 for 10 from distance with 20 points as well. But with 3 minutes and 40 seconds now to play in that one, it's Brits 88-63 over Kalamazoo. And if indeed the Brits win the MIAA this year, we're going to get a chance to do all the ball games from the Kresge, all 3 games on that Friday and Saturday night. And I'll tell you what, we are all pumped to bring you the action for 3 games for the men's tournament.
Jim, 10 points your difference going into quarter 4, plus 9 for bench scoring for Trine. There's your difference.
Been a tough night. Just so many players that come in and have been productive from Trine tonight. Long outlet to Burness will go off her hands and out of bounds.
Almost had a fast break point opportunity right there, and have not seen many fast breaks tonight. Both these teams have gotten back on defense.
In fact, I think if you look down, there's 8 points and 6 points they're claiming off of fast breaks for both these teams. 8 for Trine, 6 for the Britons.
I don't know about that.
I'm not remembering that many fast point, honestly, fast point break points, but I'm not keeping score either. Hinton pulls in the miss. Boy, the Britons have to start converting now, Jim. Every time Trine misses, we need to get this thing back to a 2 or 3 point basketball game.
Nice cut.
Backdoor cut. Welker's got 2.
And you also had Taylor a little out of position guarding up top.
Came over a little bit late. Welker was not bothered by that big body that came over top. Oh boy, there's a killer.
There's your answer.
Wildman sits on the other end and says, here you go, let me show you how to answer that one.
It got to singles, a triple pushes it back to 11, 45-34.
Wildman on the night with 11 points. She leads everybody in the navy blue jerseys tonight. Hinton for 3, short. Boy, it's been that kind of a night for Rain Hinton. Everything's hit the front iron tonight for Rain.
Not really her shot out there, but just trying to get some offense going.
Ball swings to the right side. It's Steers. She'll toss one up from 3, no good. But the rebound comes off to Shea Herbert, and the foul will go against the Britons.
And Jim, on the defensive glass right there, when the shot goes up, Trine sends at least one player crashing the boards. The Brits were flat-footed. You got to box out.
Brits only shooting 29%, 14 of 49 tonight, and they are 0 for 8 from deep. Backdoor cut by Bianowitz, and that could be a dagger right there. 13-point contest as the Brits lost track of number 11. 8 minutes to play. Britain's going to have to find some magic here at the Kresge tonight. Underneath cut by Wishmeyer. She has a lot of problems. Just toss that one up.
You just throw your shoulders up at that point.
Had no place to go with it, so it went towards the backboard and hit in the box. Oh my goodness, Wildman.
3 for a 2, yep.
Same spot, same results. She's 2 for 2 from that spot. Somebody's going to have to get out and put a hand in her face before she takes that next one down there, because she likes that spot, Jimmy.
Well,
she likes it a lot.
Selling out on full court pressure right there.
Yep.
We've said that, there has to be somebody open. If you break that pressure, there's somebody open, and that somebody in the second half has been knocking down those big shots.
Britons with 15 turnovers compared to 13 tonight for Trine. Points off turnovers, 14 for Trine, 6 for the Britons here this evening. Rebounds kind of close. In fact, the Britons with 4 more total rebounds, 33-29, than Trine does tonight. Bench points, though, going back to that again, Jimmy, 13-4. The ladies from Angola outscoring the home crowd.
The bench points and also the three-point shooting. Trine has hit those open looks. The Britons haven't had any open looks on 3.
Not at all.
Credit to the Thunder's defense.
Tough basketball team. And again, as we said, this could come down to the last Saturday afternoon of the season to see who wins the MIAA on the women's side, as Trine will go to Hope.
Boy, that'd be a fun game to watch.
Finish everything off for this season. It should be a dandy down there.
There's some great basketball being played up here.
Brits still have some time, though, to cut into this one and salvage it, but they're going to need a bit of a miracle. Taylor had to just put her hands up in the air as Welker goes around her for the 2. It's a 12-point contest again. Bianowitz gets cut off by Wishmeyer.
Thought about a 3 right there, but looked at the score, looked at the time, run some clock.
Steers gives it to Wildman, back to Steers. Bianowitz a little too high through her hands and out of bounds. There's the turnover the Britons need. Now they need to convert. Boy, a 3 would be big right here, Jimmy, to make this a 9-point game.
Maybe look for a double screen up top because the one screen they're getting isn't freeing a shooter up.
Gonna be
there it is. Oh, passed it up.
Welker not really a 3-point shooter, only hitting 33% of them on the year. Hinton goes strong, can't get it to go. Well, I'll tell you what, Raines had a tough night tonight. Taylor runs the floor. Oh, that one went off her hands.
Saying it went off of.
They said Hinton touched it, but
yeah,
it sure looked like Taylor got a paw on that one before it went out of bounds. Officials right down there, they call it. It will stay with the ladies from Trine.
Well, they're using every bit of that 5 count getting that ball in. A strong drive.
Breakdown on defense, and Katie Steers just takes advantage of you when you do that.
Just the patience of being able to put that ball on the floor 1 or 2 more times, trusting you're going to get an open spot. If you don't, you just dribble it back out, kick it back out.
Hinton on Taylor. Hinton, strong move up and knocks it in.
And you can't ask for anything more out of Kelsey Taylor on defense right there.
No.
Held her ground, put her hands straight up, played great defense. Hinton just made a really tough shot.
That's only 7 points tonight for Rain Hinton. That's a bit unusual, as well as they've done a good job on Rain, who gets 16 tonight. She pulls down the rebound, and again, the Britons running out of time. They're going to have to make some shots. Down 12, under 5 to play, under 6 to play.
With some tired legs.
Yeah, there are some tired legs. Things are moving in slow motion. Bianowitz saw that ball going to Wishmeyer, and Wishmeyer doesn't even have the legs to get to the other end, as Bianowitz able to knock it home. 54-40, and now Trine starting to stretch things out just a little bit. Well, I'll tell you what, we saw Hope here a week ago. That was a pretty impressive basketball team. This is a pretty impressive basketball team as well, though, Jim, as Hinton finally finds a way to get one in the hoop. Rain working hard for her 9 points tonight, but that leaves her team down by 12 here with 5 minutes to play in this basketball game. And I'll tell you, I don't know what Coach can come up with here. Doreen Carden, how do you come up with a miracle at this point in time, Jim, with the last 5 minutes? There's not much that you've done here so far tonight that you really can go back to and say, you know, we've been able to do this. Let's go back to it right now. Everything we've tried to do tonight really has been defended pretty well from these ladies from Angola.
Yeah, I mean, the defense, the full court pressure has definitely worked. It's gotten the turnovers. They haven't cashed in as many of the turnovers as you would like. But on the offensive end, that's the $1 million question is Trine is playing a tough defense. They're fighting through screens. They are getting set really fast, so there are no transition opportunities. There's always a presence trying to either influence, block the shot, get the board, get you a 1 and out, and they don't allow you to extend the possession. So, I mean, really the answer is to shoot 100%. And it's really tough to do that.
Tell you, a lady that's having a great night tonight is Kayla Wildman for Trine. 17 points tonight. She averages 9 on the season. Tonight, Jimmy, she's 6 for 7 from the floor, 5 for 6 from downtown. Right there's a big difference in this basketball game.
Young lady came to play.
She sure did. And is doing a really good job of it so far tonight. And there she is with the basketball right now. She got rid of it. They'll throw it back in the corner for 3. A little too long. Rebound comes off to Trine as Shea Herbert crashes the board and gets the easy putback.
And that's the other key right there is if you want to get back in this game, you can't allow second chance opportunities. You got the miss, but you didn't box out on the defensive glass, and they crashed the boards on the offensive glass.
Burness to Welker. Back out front, Wishmeyer with her first wide open look of the night from 3, and it's off. Mark just a little to the left.
And no offensive rebound right there for the Brits. So 14-point lead for Trine. And now with just over 4:15 to play, they can run some time.
14-7 offensive rebounds tonight. But you know what, Jimmy? That's the Brits with the 14. So we got twice as many offensive rebounds, but they've not come when they needed to. Clear
Brits
out
foul.
on the bottom end there. I believe it's Larson maybe that got that foul. Yep. On Bienowitz.
Britt's second team foul of the quarter. 2 fouls on Larson.
Hinton in, Stanley out for the Britons. Now you got to keep all the starters back out there and play them hard to the end. 14 down. You can still make it turn around, but you're going to have to do something and do it in a hurry.
That's an and one, yeah.
Wow, Shea Herbert from Pinckney, Michigan. Watch this.
Saw
There's
Welker try to
there's
get
the
set.
foul.
See Welker coming over at the last second. Not set. Moving the feet.
Nope.
Good job of drawing the contact, getting the spin off the glass.
So Herbert, who gets 6 a night, misses the free throw. Taylor will fight it all the way to the out of bounds stripe. And she touches it the last time before she sits down in the front row of the bleachers on the student end.
Yeah, but that effort almost kept that possession going and burned another significant chunk of time off the clock.
Welker works around the hit and screen. No place to go with Taylor. Picks her up on the baseline. Back out front to Wishmeyer. Wish drives. Leaves it short. Again, that intimidation underneath by Taylor has, I think, caused the Britons to leave an awful lot of those 2 and 3 footers on the front of the iron tonight.
It's influencing the shot. It's also frustrating the players. You can see sometimes the shots are just line drives, just throwing something up to the basket, trying to make it happen.
Well, again, when you take a look at this Britons basketball team, only 2 seniors on this team, in Burness and Wishmeyer. So it's a young team that will bring an awful lot of people back again next year. And with a decent recruiting class this year, this is going to be a team that's going to be right back in the thick of it again. 3 to shoot, 2 to shoot. Bienowitz just takes her time and finds an open lane as her reward. And now it's an 18-point game. Wishmeyer didn't pull the trigger. Into Hinton, spins for the double team. Wow, that was a circus shot right there.
Yeah. Again, Taylor did everything she could do on defense right there. Just took a really difficult shot and ended up knocking it down. 16's the lead, running out of time.
Men had a 26-point win tonight in Kalamazoo, 96-70. So they're back on the winning side of the ledger here on a Wednesday night. That puts them up 2 with 3 to play on the men's side. Back out to Taylor. Swings it to the right side to Steers. Steers, offensive charge. She was running on empty there and running out of control. You look at Katie Steers right now. She does look like a young lady who has played 3.5 quarters of basketball.
Got a timeout.
She's been on that floor quite a bit tonight.
Winterfest Albion 2020. Actually, that event already took place, so hopefully you had a good time at Winterfest. So I'll give you an update on Britton Bound Days, giving admitted students the opportunity to sit in a class, learn about Albion's learning opportunities, experience life on campus, and see popular areas of campus. Those are scheduled for the 17th of February, March 20, and April 17. Direct questions to the Office of Admission, 517-629-0718, or visit albion.edu/admission.
Brits had a tough time Saturday afternoon here home, the men's side, in shooting. But tonight at Kalamazoo, they were 53.4% from the field, 56% even from deep at 14 for 25. Hit all 4 free throws this evening, Jim, as well. 36 bench points for the Brits tonight, 23 second chance points, 40 points in the paint. You think Coach had them wound up just a little bit over in Kalamazoo here tonight? They looked like they were going after everything this evening. Turnovers, only 6 turnovers tonight for the men at Kalamazoo. So an all-around performance for Coach Jody May and his guys.
You wanted to know how they'd respond.
Yep.
I'd say they did pretty well.
We'll take that response every time. How's that?
Dick Ritter, class of 66, tuning in from Venice, Florida. Mr. Ritter, one of our faithful viewers out there in the Britton Sports Network. And, man, I can't thank you enough, Mr. Ritter, for not only tuning in but sending us a note and letting us know you're watching. We love to say hello to you.
Yeah, no doubt about that. The Lady Brits have 2 minutes and 11 seconds to pull off what would be the biggest miracle of the Kresge Gymnasium if they could pull this one back. The drive by Welker. Nope. No good by Ross.
Stewart.
And Ross, I think, will go to the free throw line to shoot a couple.
And that's the last thing the Thunder want right now, is to stop that clock. They want that thing to be running as much as possible. You get a confusion on the substitution. Eventually, Kelsey Taylor checks out. And again with the lead at 16, you're right. It's going to take a little bit of a Kresge miracle to make it happen.
First free throw catches nothing but cords.
All you can do is control this possession right here. So you go to the line for 2, you knock down 2. If you can't knock down the second, you get the rebound, try to extend.
Not impossible.
Now you play pressure defense. Once they get across midcourt, pick them up, try to get the turnover or a stop.
14-point game. Brits come up with a double. Trine willing to just let that clock run a little bit. Over to Wildman. Bianowitz will not shoot. Back out front. Katie Steers. Brits going to have to pick their time to foul, and they'll pull it right now. Shea Herbert will go to the free throw line. She's a 63%er. In fact, it's on the floor. That's only 14 fouls, so they're going to throw it in on the side.
Next one will send them. We get a timeout on the floor by Trine. Get a 30.
Well, it has been an interesting ball game tonight, Jim. It does appear that tonight, after this one, the Brits are going to stay in that number 3 spot. That'll make them 10-4 overall and 18-5 for the season. Move Trine to 12-1 and 18-4.
So then the question is, you look at Calvin.
Yeah.
How's Calvin doing tonight? Because if the Brits fall in this one to 10-4, if Calvin is victorious, that puts them up to 9-5, and both of those two teams would still be hosting a play-in game. But again, that becomes who is going to. This is all assuming that everything else in 1 and 2 holds up. But if the Britons fall to 4 and they host a play-in game, then they would match up potentially with Hope. Trine would then, again, potentially play Calvin. So
Calvin beats Kalamazoo tonight 76-40, so they've got a winner. Hope's got a winner 69-40 tonight over St. Mary's.
Got a steal.
Brits go the length of the floor, but the layup, no good. Rebound comes off to Trine, and they're going to be happy now to run as much of this clock as they can. And the Britons now really have to foul and just hope that things go their way. Adrian leading Olivet with 1.5 minutes to play in the fourth quarter, 79-66 on the women's side. Again, here it is 60-46 with the Britons trailing by 14.
Wildman, a 74% free throw shooter.
We'll go back over and take a look at the men's side of the equation here tonight as well.
And no rebounding for Trine off the make or miss here off the miss, but she knocks the second one down. The other 4 players, Jim, were already back on the defensive side of the floor, ready to pick up.
Wow, here's one that'll open your eyes just a little bit, Jimmy. Calvin 70, Trine 66. 1:15 to play in that men's contest.
So that almost.
This could maybe be finalized tonight on the men's side if Trine goes down tonight. That puts them 3 down with 3 to play. That's. Yep.
That would be a major upset right there.
That would be a major upset right now.
That would be 2 losses in a row for Trine.
Yeah, which would really make you shake your head just a little bit. There's a timeout with 1 minute and 15 to play in that one. Trine was up 38-29 at the half, and Calvin has outscored Trine 44-28 here in the second half, and they're now at 45 seconds left to play, up 73-66 with Trine with the basketball.
Ross gets 1 out of 2. The second one rattles out. Just over 1 minute to play in the contest. Trine looking to seal the deal. Rough foul right there.
Very rough foul, and all they're going to do is try to come over and maybe shake a hand or two. But I'll tell you what, Shea Herbert doesn't really want anybody in a white jersey helping her up off the floor right now.
No, but I've seen that both ways tonight.
Yep, no doubt.
Players looking, trying to do the right thing help the other player up. But, man, there's
no love lost. And I'll tell you what,
there's some intensity on this floor, even when you're walking over to help somebody up.
You toss that basketball in the air on a Wednesday or Saturday here in the Kresge, and all of a sudden there's no friends that are wearing the opposite colors.
No, not until the game's over and you're shaking hands. There's mutual respect, but they're in it to win it.
Herbert makes the first one. Makes it a 15-point contest with just over a minute to play. And the second one will be rebounded by Welker for the Britons. They've got to get down here in a hurry, and they need to really start putting up some long-distance shots for my money. Welker goes down. The bump will go against Steers. Steers not happy with that whole thing, and I think that's number 5. Her night will be over. But you know what? She got all but a minute, 55 seconds of it in here tonight at the Kresge, and what a night she's had.
Fantastic night. Don't want to stop the clock if you're trying. That's the one bugaboo about what just happened. But, again, fantastic, fantastic game. And Trine is going to get the W tonight.
Welker drives, tough shot, no good. Rebound by Larson, no good. Foul on the second one. And
no boxing out there for Trine on the rebound, Jim. Something that they've been very disciplined about all night tonight, but
sure
no boxing out there.
Wish they'd have done that a little more often, a little earlier in this basketball game.
To no one's surprise, Larson's the one who comes up with the rebound. Misses the first free throw, but, man, she has been a heart and soul player tonight for the Brits.
Really playing hard. There's no doubt about that, Amanda. It'll be a lot of fun to watch. But tonight she's going to go home and she's going to hurt about every part of her body, including the bump on over her eye and on her chin, and every place else. I think she's been on that floor an awful lot here tonight. Let's see, the Kalamazoo or the Calvin Trine game, men's game again. Still watching that one. We're under a minute. Last score that we have with 43 seconds to go has Calvin up by 5, 73-68. Let's check the play-by-play here real quick and see where we're at. The foul was against Trine, so it's going to send Calvin to the free throw line. In fact, it's sending Tony DeWitt to the free throw line. That's almost automatic.
He just made his first, yeah.
So the first one's down. It's back up to a 6-point game.
So it could be 3 possessions after that free throw.
I would almost, I'm going to bet you here that Tony's going to make the second one as well. He's just that good. And we'll see here in just a second when that thing updates.
47.9 to play here. Trine inbounding up 14, 62-48.
A little bit of a push. That was an accident down there on Welker. Didn't really mean to do it, but Kaylee Argyle just kind of set up in the wrong spot. And Welker just kind of ran on through her.
Intentional foul, yep.
Yep. That's okay. Not a bad call whatsoever, but it was not something that she really, it might have been intentional, but it was not a flagrant intentional. It was not something that out of anger or whatever she made a shove. She just kind of ran right on through her.
No, it's not like when you're playing video game ball and you turn the fouls off as part of the AI. Wasn't that kind of foul.
Hey, by the way, Tony DeWitt hit the second one as well.
Benovich knocks down the first free throw. Free throw number 2 up and good as well.
75-71 at Trine tonight with Calvin on top by 4 with 37 seconds to go. So Trine's still playing for their basketball future right now. Calvin's outscored Trine 46-33 in the second half on the men's side. And a whistle and a foul will go against the Britons, as everything now has got to be a quick foul, and you just have to hope that they're going to go and miss some free throws. Being down by 16, this one's pretty much in the books.
And Kaylee Argyle, the sophomore, going to the line. She'll shoot a pair as well. She is a 67% free throw shooter and gets them both.
Not a real big deal there. Langston Johnston hits a three-pointer there for Trine to make it a 4-point contest now. So we'll keep an eyeball on that one for you as Wishmeyer dribbles. Swings it up and almost in. 18-point game as we stop the clock with 31 ticks. this will be the last ball game we'll have this year for the ladies. Been a fun season. Going to be a good season for Coach Carden and her basketball team.
And see if Coach will be able to come up and join us here post-game to give us some comments. First free throw, no good for Evelyn Wishmeyer. She's had a tough night tonight.
I was going to say that's about the way that the game has gone for Evelyn, and she misses them both. Wow, that never happens. It's been one of those nights. There's just no doubt about it. There's not much you can do about it. You'll have those. You wish you didn't have those, but they do show up, and this Trine team really in playoff mode here at this point in time.
Yep. And again, they're only in the standings, only a game back of hope.
Wishmeyer with just 6 points tonight, Jim. 11-point average for Wish on the year. 0 for 4 from behind the arc, 3 for 10 from the floor tonight. Only 30% for Evelyn.
0 for 2 from the charity stripe on that trip for Kayla Wildman.
Britt's drive, dish off. Nice job by Larson to be there and lay that basketball in, and a good dish by J.C. King. 16 seconds and counting. 14-point contest.
Yep, just get it across and shake hands. No more fouling.
Trine's going to dribble this one out. It was a battle. It was an effort. Trine's going to know that they played a basketball game tonight, but when they look at the final score, it's not going to look quite as close as maybe what it was. 66-50 is the final score, as the Britons just didn't have an answer again tonight from the ladies from Angola, and they'll fall this evening, and their record now goes to 18-5, 10-4 in the conference, and Trine is an 18-4 basketball team, and they're 12-1 in the conference, and they're headed for a date that last Saturday afternoon of February of the basketball season, just a week from this coming Saturday, up in Hope, and it sure does look like these two are going to square off for the MIAA championship at Holland, Michigan on that last Saturday afternoon of the 2019-2020 season. So good ball game, tough ball game. We'll get a chance to talk to the coach here in a few minutes after she has a conversation with her ladies and see what she thinks about this basketball game tonight. It was a good ball game, a tough ball game, and tonight it's a ball game that Trine kind of needed, wanted, and really got off to a good start, Jim, and never looked back as they go out 17-11 in the first quarter. That second quarter was just a very strange one. We've not seen one like that one here. Trine only scores 8 points in the second quarter, and you'd think at that point in time, there's your chance to make a little hay, be able to get back in the basketball game. But the number next to the Britons' tally there was 5, one handful. So the Brits outscored 8-5 in quarter number 2. They were outscored then 20-13 in quarter number 3 and 24-18 in quarter number 4. And the total of this evening, 66-50, as Trine wins the basketball game here tonight, and will send the Britons basically to defeat. Britons with just 2 more games. They'll have Calvin here at home over the weekend on Saturday, and then they'll finish everything up at St. Mary's. Those last 2 basketball games for the Britons will be big ones. But again, it's a situation where they're going to end up either 3rd or 4th in the conference no matter what's going to happen. So they're going to host a game in that opening round on that opening Wednesday night to start that tournament off, no matter what goes on here, because they're going to be in either that number 3 or that number 4 spot.
Yeah, and as frustrating a game as it was for Coach Carden and the Britain squad tonight, 50 points is still by far the most points anybody has scored against Trine in a long time.
You're right.
So, I mean, let that sink in for a moment about how good this Trine Thunder basketball team is, that they had an 8-point quarter and still held their opponent to 50 points. And that 50 points was the most they've given up in a long time.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. There's no doubt about that.
It's hard to wrap my head around how good that defense is. And again, the top part of this conference, just fantastic, fantastic basketball. The MIAA has some quality basketball going on this season.
No doubt about that. Women's finals tonight. Adrian beats Olivet tonight 81-68. Trine and Albion, basically, you know the final on that one. Calvin beats Kalamazoo tonight 76-40. And Hope is victorious tonight over St. Mary's 69-43. So that's how it all worked out on the ladies' side. So Hope will stay on top of the conference tonight and will stay perfect after that 16-point win over St. Mary's. Calvin will inch a little bit closer to Albion now for that number 3 spot in the women's side in the standings. And it sets up, like we said, a really a big game for that last Saturday afternoon between Hope and Trine. Sure looks that way at least. We'll check over on the men's side of the ledger here and find out whether Calvin is able to bump Trine off here this evening in that basketball game. And they were ahead late in the game. As we go over to I go back over here. We go back to the winter sports. Come on, give me the winter sports here. Give me the men's side. There you go. I had to go back to the to that doggone
man
mouse.
versus technology.
Yeah, and man loses in that game most of the time. Brits win tonight in Kalamazoo, 96-70. We have Calvin over Trine, 78-71.
That's a final.
Says end of 2, so that looks like a final there. So 7-point lead and win for Calvin tonight. Hope falls to Adrian tonight, 69-65.
Couple of upsets there, Jim. And boy, that Alma Olivet game, 96-88.
Yep.
Alma pulls out the 8-point win, almost hits Chalupaville right there. But Calvin goes to Trine and wins a road game. That's an upset.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And but the other side you can look at right now, maybe Calvin's starting to play some of the best basketball they've played for a while, as they've knocked off now Hope and Trine back-to-back. They beat Hope at their place and then went to Trine and were able to win that basketball game. But, maybe Calvin's that dark horse in this tournament right now, although Adrian's been playing some really good basketball as well if they happen to get part of the mix as well.
A couple teams you maybe feel a little uneasy about depending on how the draw shakes out. But, again, there's going to be some upset specials still as the MIAA conference season grinds to an end.
We're going to be back here next Wednesday night for the men's game against Trine, and a win next Wednesday definitely locks it up entirely for the coach and his team, Jody May and his basketball team this year. But right at this point, they find themselves up 3 games with 3 games to play, so it's just a matter of one more win to where it matter when they pick it up, and there's a good possibility the next Wednesday's game may not mean a thing in the MIAA schedule and standings when they get here at the Kresge on Wednesday night. We'll just have to see. But tonight...
Good luck telling that to Coach May and the men's squad.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Don't worry, Coach, this game doesn't mean anything.
And I would think that Coach
doesn't
Miller...
mean anything. And under what terms are we talking about here? Because even, it's, there's always payback for when the Britons and the Trine Thunder play, whether it's the women's side or the men's side. There's, one of them's going to get one, and then, again, we talked about the struggles that the women's team has had against Trine going back now 6 full seasons now since they've defeated them home or away. And so, there's always an element of payback involved. And the men still thinking about last season losing that one at Trine. Got their redemption a little bit in the postseason tournament and got the bid to the NCAAs. And they pulled off the difficult road victory in Angola already this season after a slow first half start. So now it's the revenge tour, I guess, so to speak, for Trine.
Yeah.
Maybe Trine was looking ahead to that last game of the season and thinking that, this is going to be the one for all the marbles. But, maybe they were guilty of looking past a couple of their other opponents before they got here to the Kresge. Yeah,
it was a tough night here in the Kresge for the Lady Britons, but we've got the coach with us right now. And it was a tough ball game all the way around. Coach Doreen Carden with us. I'll tell you what, that was a battle, Doreen. That at times looked a little more like a street fight than a basketball game.
Oh my gosh, it was so physical. And first half, I thought defensively both teams were really, really good. Obviously, because it was super low scoring, and they're really good defensively. But yeah, I think we just kind of wore down that second half.
Yeah.
And they were a lot more physical than we were.
They really have some solid quality depth on that basketball team. and size is a big part of that basketball team. They one sits down, the next one looks just like the one that sat down.
Yeah.
You know?
They do. They bring a lot of big kids, and we just kept shooting into them, and they're long and blocked a lot of our stuff, and just where we weren't going up very strong. But yeah, I mean, they're a good team. I mean, they're young too. They have one senior on the team, so they're going to be pretty good. And they've all, for the most part, been to the tournament, so they know what it takes to get to that next level.
Yeah, no, they do.
Coach, the full court pressure really was effective, especially in that first half. You could tell by the end of that first half the toll it was taken on Trine, but also near the end of that first half it looked like the ladies for Albion were a little bit wore out too. But
for sure.
I mean, that pressure was really working, but boy, it takes a toll, doesn't it?
It does, and we didn't sub as many kids that we usually do. So yeah, towards the end you could tell we were getting tired. They were giving up a lot of easy baskets. I feel like we were clawing and scratching for everything, and we gave up a lot of easy stuff for them. And we had a lot of good looks. We just didn't make a lot. I think Rain struggled a little bit inside with their size, and she hit some of those shots and we're right back in it. So it was tough.
Yeah. Couldn't get an open look from behind the arc tonight either.
No.
I mean, they just didn't give you an open look tonight.
No, they're really good at closing out and getting out to you fast. I mean, like I said, their defense is really, really good. So yeah, it was tough for us to get shots off.
And you know what? I'll say it was not easy for them either to get shots off as well. I mean, we played pretty well defensively for the most part tonight as well.
No, I agree. I think that's one of the things we've been really working on is our defense. And I thought today we kind of stepped up to the challenge and played tough on them. I think they struggled in that first half. It was Barber. What was it, 22-19?
Yeah. That second quarter was a low scoring quarter, 8-5, Coach. That almost never happens.
No, not at all.
Yeah, we're having a little microphone problem, so we're going to give you a set of headset right now to talk. All right, you're getting down now to the end of the season. All right. The good news is that you're sitting in that number 3 spot at this point in time. Okay. Calvin won tonight. All right. And so they moved up a game on you right now. But you got a couple games left. How important is the last 2 games for you guys to get ready for that postseason?
Oh, it's super important. I mean, Saturday is going to be tough. Calvin played us tough at 3rd place. We found a way to win. So that's going to be a huge game for us. You're right, because they're, fighting for that same spot, that 3-4 spot. And then St. Mary's on the road, too. We struggled there a little bit last year. So these next 2 games, I mean, we still have a lot of basketball left, so we can't be discouraged with what happened tonight.
No, not at all, because the tournament's still coming.
Right.
You're going in.
Right.
There's no way we're keeping you out of the tournament
right
now. And you doggone it, Jim and I were talking about this on the way up. This is a pretty darn good basketball team, but you're in a real tough league this year. I mean, Trine and Hope are playing some spectacular basketball.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Them 2 teams are really, really tough. And, yeah, I mean, we play them twice, so it's, 4 times we're playing top teams, which is really tough.
You've only got 4 losses, and 3 of them are coming to those guys.
Exactly.
5 losses now, and 4 of them coming now at this point in time.
I know, and we just got to get to the point where we're beating one of those teams for our kids. But, yeah, they're good. They're good, and like I said, I mean, we're going to see them again in the tournament, so we just got to keep working. We got to keep getting better.
Yeah, that's the key. If you could do anything different tonight, is there anything that sticks out in your mind right now that you would have changed at all through these 4 quarters?
I don't know. I mean, maybe subbing a little bit more because I know we were getting a little bit tired. Maybe, I mean, not having Rain and Eileen in foul trouble in that first half could have helped a little bit as well. We got foul trouble there as well, which kind of hurt her being on the bench the whole time. But no, I mean, like I said, I think our kids played hard. Just like I said, they're so good defensively. It's hard to score against them.
It really is. Well, I mean, Taylor is just a monster on that and underneath there. And even when she got her 3 fouls, she seemed to just still be able to continue to play pretty well.
She did. She's a workhorse, and she's a big body. It was good that we got her in foul trouble. But she's tough. She's just physical.
And the one person that stuck out, number 4, Kayla Wildman tonight. Yep. You take a look at her tonight, and she just absolutely had a career night this evening, okay? 2 for 3 in 3-point shooting tonight. She had, 6 points on the evening, okay? Mm-hmm. But it seemed like she hit those couple shots down here late in that ball game as you guys were making a run at her. Yep. And the next thing you know, in fact, I think this is a halftime. Yeah, it's a halftime shot. She was double that tonight. She actually, let me find the final over here. You won't be happy with it when I find it. How's that? I shouldn't probably look for you here. But at the end of the 4th quarter, Wildman ends up tonight with a total of 18 points. Actually, She was 5 for 6 from behind the arc and 6 for 7 on the floor tonight. That's the only player that they had tonight that really had a decent game, if you want to look at it that way.
I know. I feel like there's always that one kid on every team
Yeah,
that
well,
steps up, and that's what we need. We need to find somebody that can do that. But she had a lot of good open looks. She's a good shooter. And I think a lot of it was in the press. We left her open. So, and she knocked down shots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Made some big plays for them, and right, that's kind of when they took a little bit more of the lead.
Those 2 shots, I can
Huge.
remember them, and you guys
Yep.
were working hard and cutting that thing
Yep.
under 10, and the next thing you know, bang, bang, she knocked them both down.
Yeah.
Last game for us this year. It's been a fun year
I
to watch.
appreciate it. Yeah.
It's hard to imagine that it's over at this point in time.
It's so fast.
It goes-
Season goes by so fast.
It does, doesn't it, huh?
Yeah. Just remember it being October, starting up, and
Yeah.
now we're winding down. So
But you've got to be happy at this point in time. I know you're not happy tonight because you lost.
for sure.
You're not going to be happy. There's no
For
way in the
sure.
world that you're going to be happy about that whole
Yeah.
thing. You get a chance maybe to play Trine and Hope one more time each
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
really put it all back together again.
For sure, and we just got to really believe, and anything can happen in the tournament.
Yep, it can.
Yeah.
So let's throw them up and keep playing.
Yeah,
How's that,
for
huh?
sure. I'm with you on that.
I wish we could get a chance to do a couple more, so all we can do is wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season.
Well, I appreciate it. You guys are great, and thank you for supporting us and doing this.
Well, we love doing it. Well, if they want us to do them all, Doreen, all you got to do is ask. We'll be here every time.
Okay,
How's that?
awesome. No, I'm all for that.
All right. Doreen
Thank
Carton,
you.
thank you very
Yeah,
much for your
thank
time.
you.
Good luck for the Lady
Thank
Britons
you.
on the rest of the season.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Let's surprise them all in the tournament. What do you think, huh?
Yep, thumbs up for that.
I like the way that they're thinking. All right, the final tonight, 66-50 here as the Britons fall to the Trine Thunder. Jim, any last thoughts before we wrap it up?
I just want to say thanks to Matt Arend and also to Andre, our new compadre here in the sports information, and thanks to Jade, the camera operator, and Ken Reeker, the producer and director extraordinaire tonight. Thanks to everyone who tuned in, and also everybody who shot us an email tonight. Great hearing from the Britain fans and Trine Thunder fans alike. And we can't wait to bring you next week's matchup between these two schools on the men's side on the Britain Sports Network.
For Jimmy Bellamy, I'm Jim Funderburg. We'll be back Wednesday night. Trine versus Albion right here, the final regular season men's game on the Britain Sports Network. Have a great rest of your week. Be careful out there in the snow, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday night here from the Kresge Center.